Alright, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Chat, let me know how audio is. And I can adjust it. But, so... This is Kingdom Hearts 2 FM. Beginner mode. And let's get the show on the road. You're good whenever.
I'm good to go. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, this is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, beginner 90%. You think you saw KH2 English twice, actually, because you saw 90% in JJ. This is a lot different. And you also saw Crit earlier, which is kind of similar to this, but there's actually quite a few differences. Mainly in the damage you take from enemies and the abilities you get at the start of the game. So coming up here, I'm going to be picking up Struggle Bat that gives me +1 strength, because strength is very important in this run. And then on Cypher right here, I'm going to be doing specific combos, so I can manipulate RNG for the next couple of fights. Alright, you want to explain some RNG manip stuff right here?
Right, so yeah, like you said, we do a very specific combo. By basically ending the fight with the finisher and only letting him attack once and stuff. We're able to know exactly what the very first Dusk will do, so we can do combos on it as fast as possible. In critical mode, we would use that to kill ourselves, but beginner we actually can't die there, so we have to hit the Dusk. Is it 10 times? I think it's 10 times.
It's 10 times. Well, I think it's 10. Yeah,
it's like
either 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we know exactly how the Dusk will react here. There's no, well, we manipulate the RNG, so we know what it is. And then this RNG actually carries over into the Dusk fight that we'll see a little later. Unfortunately, we can't really manipulate RNG past that because there's just too many factors. But you'll see KHFan do these air combos on this Dusk here. And those are actually pretty precise. It's very easy to clank on him or whiff.
Yeah, basically we want to avoid doing finishers on the Dusks, because the finisher knocks them far away, and we have to go chase them around, and it's kind of hard to hit them sometimes.
Yeah, it takes exactly 4 empty hits and a finisher to kill a Dusk, so you'll see him do 2 hits and then a full combo.
So this is mail delivery, which is kind of a quick little mini game we have to do to get some money to move on. But there's actually some specific movement we have to do to speed this up.
Yeah, so for mail delivery, when you deliver the actual mail, there's an animation when Roxas delivers the mail, which is really long and you can't jump or move out of it really. So by jumping right before we hit triangle on the target, we're able to skip that animation completely, and it speeds up mail delivery by like 1 to 1.5 seconds usually.
Yeah, I actually messed it up a little bit. I tried to go too fast and I went the wrong way, but fine. So coming up, we're going to have another Dusk that we have to do 10 hits on again. And this Dusk has 2 different patterns it can do with RNG we manipulated, but we can do pretty much the same thing with both.
Yeah, so if we do the first Dusk correctly, we'll know exactly what this guy does. If you screw up the first Dusk, this Dusk will actually have a different pattern. there's like 2 patterns which are okay to deal with, but there's some of the patterns can get really bad.
And right there I picked up the sword, so that chooses my ability path. It has nothing to do with my stats, and it's just so we can get different abilities like in a certain order throughout the game.
The most
One of them
notable
is combo
ones
boost
are
very early.
yeah, we get combo boost early. We get experience boost really early as well. We also get things like draw and reaction boost fairly early.
It was very helpful. So in crit, you'd see a menu here where you equip a bunch of abilities that they're given to you at the start, but since this is a beginner, we don't have any of those, and we kind of just go.
Yeah, those abilities you get at the start of the game basically is what makes crit comparable to beginner in a lot of places. If you didn't have those abilities, it would be a lot slower. I guess we haven't really mentioned it, but like most KH games, we'll be doing a lot of air combos. Air combos are generally just faster, as well as when you land on the ground, you cancel the finisher animation, which lets you start another combo much faster.
Yeah, we probably won't be using many ground combos until like probably about halfway through the game when we get an ability called Finishing Leap. Because up until that point, air combos are always pretty much faster.
Yeah, unlike a typical beginner run for Kingdom Hearts 1, we get a lot of combo modifiers in Kingdom Hearts 2, which make our combos do a lot of different things, notably our finishers like Finishing Leap and Guard Break. So there's a little more variety in the type of combos we'll do. Right here, this is completely timed. KHFan just kind of runs around until the next animation plays out. So yeah, unfortunately those RCs you just have to sit through. Right here, KHFan's gonna try and get 4 quick combos on the head. Ooh, that last finisher was kind of iffy. So right here he's going to stand in front of the face. The reason we stand in front of the face here is so we can hit these 2 creepers away, and also so Twilight Thorn won't spawn thorns right in front of his face. By hitting the 2 creepers away on that second combo, we're actually able to force them to retaliate at a very specific time that allows us to dodge out of the way without them ever interrupting us. Twilight Thorn himself isn't very threatening, but the creepers can lose you a lot of time.
Yeah, basically that was a perfect fight.
Yeah. So now we're going into struggles. Unfortunately, unlike crit, we don't get draw and we don't get a second finishing plus, so Hainer becomes a little harder to deal with. We'll basically drag him into the corner and then do slow combos so he hopefully doesn't retaliate. And we'll try to pick up all the orbs before he can steal any from us. Right there we equip guard. We'll be needing that in case of emergency, and we'll need it specifically for Vivi. It may look like KHFan is just wailing on Hainer, but it's actually fairly precise on what he's trying to do.
Yeah, you kind of want to wait until he's just before he's about to retaliate, and that'll make sure that you don't reach his revenge value for him to retaliate like too early and stuff like that.
That guard scared me. You scared me.
Yeah, I was scared too. That's a good Hainer though.
Yeah, if Hainer had hit him there, he probably would have lost an additional like 5 or more seconds, just because Hainer likes to pick up orbs and run away, and it's just really hard to catch him when he's not in the corner there. So for Vivi, this fight is actually 100% consistent. We know exactly where he will retaliate based on a thing called revenge value. So by doing these two combos and then very specific hits here, we can guard his retaliation and then just knock him out. Fortunately, Vivi has a very low HP pool, so we can knock him out, unlike Hainer.
Yeah, that was a little scary at the end. I thought he was going to pick up the last orb, but we're good. And then basically again on these dusts, we just want to do a bunch of empty hits.
Yeah, so at this point in the game, I don't know exactly, do they have more HP or is the battle level low? But basically, these dusts require one more hit than the other dusts we were fighting earlier. We have to do 3 empty hits and then a full combo on them to kill them. A lot of time loss and optimization you'll find here is just knowing exactly how many hits you've done on the dust so you don't waste inputs.
That's more like it.
For Axel 1 here, we'll actually do a series of 5 air combos, but after the first 3 we will guard because we will retaliate. It's very important that we don't jump too high. A thing with Roxas is he can jump too high and he can drop air combos. So controlling Roxas is actually somewhat of an art, and it takes a lot of experience to control him exactly how you want.
Yeah, big difference between this game and like Kingdom Hearts 2 English is that you can actually die here, which saves a good bit of time. But there's a lot of RNG because you have to rely on sets to retaliate every time you hit them.
Yeah, and the reason we lose here is because he gives us the medal as opposed to the champion's belt. The medal gives us strength, and like KHFan mentioned earlier, strength is just really important. We actually keep the medal, well, in critical mode we would keep the medal equipped the entire run, but due to needing more AP in beginner, since we don't get the 50 at the start, we would switch out the medal in Timeless River. But the one strength we get from the medal pays off as soon as we do Shadow Roxas.
Next up we have Seven Wonders, which is kind of it's just a series of like little, like kind of like, they're not really mini games, they're kind of just like short little fights, or I don't really know how to know how to describe them. Because like there's 2 fights and there's 2 other things. They're just kind of, I don't know.
Basically the Destiny Islands portion of KH2. It's a lot of movement and small optimizations with how we do things. Nothing's really too complicated, but if you screw things up, you can lose quite a bit of time here. In this menu here, we actually equip the medal, and we actually turn off summon animations, and KHFan turns on KH1 menu.
Yeah, it's like the look of it a little more. Classic.
Yeah, so normally your menu would change in different worlds, but KHFan likes the classic menu. We turned off summon animations because unlike Kingdom Hearts 1, we can turn those off and it saves time just because we don't have to watch it. And that is just...
Some of the summon animations are very long.
Yeah. And that's just the most really convenient place to do it. Some people actually do that menu like before Twilight Town, just because they can't deal with the reversed camera.
Yeah, luckily I don't change any of the camera options.
Yeah.
So that usually isn't a problem.
So right here, all these VVs take 1 hit to kill, and there's a bit of RNG on where they spawn. So we try to stay in the middle and hope they spawn near us.
Yeah, I kind of just got back into a corner.
Yeah, unfortunately he didn't get very good spawns here. Wow. They are not playing nice, oh my.
That corner kind of just screwed me over a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah. Getting hit once on VV actually loses you quite a bit of time because unlike critical mode, we don't have the AP to equip things like aerial recovery yet. So we just have to let ourselves fall, and we generally fall very far away from where we want to be. So this is the Shadow Roxas fight, and Shadow Roxas actually has quite a bit of HP compared to other enemies at this point. So we're just going to do a series of ground combos and air hits to keep them staggered.
Did a little bit of a wonky strat there, but
3 air hits.
Worked out.
Worked out. So some people like to do air combos, and those will save you a second or two, but it's really hard to land the hits on him sometimes, just because Shadow Roxas is just as short as you, and so you have to do really low ground combos. Funny enough, if you actually fail to defeat Shadow Roxas the first time, you'll get a temporary strength boost that helps you out the next time you try to fight him.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure someone told me that. Because I was like, well, can't you just die to him and then like keep the strength buff? And they're like, oh no, it goes away after you kill him. I'm like, wow, that's lame.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. So there's actually a soft lock on this bag mini game. It happens if you get the RC when there isn't a trash can in front of you, and if you hit it, you kind of just fly off, and you just kind of sit there in the air.
Yeah, I see someone in chat ask the difference between KH2 and Final Mix. If we're talking 2 English and Final Mix, which is what most people are familiar with, there's a lot of balance changes and cosmetic changes. So, for example, a lot of Heartless will be recolored, and some bosses. Sora also has a Halloween Town outfit. And for balance, a lot of limits are nerfed, mainly Donald and Goofy. So things like Knock Smash do like no damage. The Genie limit finishers do a lot less damage in Final Mix. But compared to that, Sora does a lot more damage in the early parts of the game because they changed how strength level ups work. We also get abilities at different times. So 2 English would get Explosion after Twin Lords, but we don't get that until after Solar Sailor, which is much later in the game. So we end up using Finishing Leap a lot more.
One of the biggest differences is just load times are a lot faster in this game.
Right, yeah. You save about 20 minutes in loads because 2FM was just optimized better. I forgot to mention the biggest difference is Trinity. Solo Trinity is much stronger in 2 English, which you see a lot in endgame for the speedrun. We can't do that in 2FM, so we have to do some more complicated strats for final fights.
We basically end up using Reflect a lot because that got a very strong buff in this game.
Yeah. You also have more MP in 2 English, I believe, at least in the any % run. There's just a lot of small differences. You can actually death abuse in this fight, and you will see that happen in level 1, but it's faster and easier for us to fight it out because it does give us experience as well. Beginner is pretty hungry for experience early on because you want strength boost as fast as possible.
Another enemy that was introduced there is an assassin. Assassins can be pretty annoying because they have the ability to go underground, and if you miss like pairing them and bringing them above ground, they can just kind of sit underground for a little while and waste a bunch of time. And if you saw the combo that I did on the assassin, you can actually sidestep his attack, and he's vulnerable during that, and then if you hit him, it staggers him, so he doesn't go underground right away.
Yeah, alternatively, you can guard that first attack from the assassin and be able to kill him as well before he goes underground. Oh yeah, there's a lot of changes. I don't remember them all. as we go through the run, we'll probably mention a few of them. But yeah, there's a limit form, and there's one addition. There's at least, well, there's 2 become 1, which is really important because it makes it a lot easier to get final form in 2FM.
There's also little things like in Dragon's Endless, you do a lot more damage. Like the RC was buffed, and there's less health on them.
Yeah, I didn't even mention the addition of the Roxas fight in the data organization. But yeah, there's a lot of content in 2FM, and the only way to play it in English, unfortunately, is on the PS3 right now. In March, the PS4 version should be coming out, which is pretty exciting. But as of right now, you can only play it on the PS3 in English. And for whatever reason, PS3 version loads an hour slower. So, which is why you don't see a lot of people speedrunning that version. So in this basement fight, KHFan is going to try and kill 3 Dusk as fast as possible. After you kill 3 Dusk, and 2 assassins will spawn, and we'll try to catch one of the assassins before he goes underground. Oh, unfortunately, he auto-target on the Dusk there.
Yes, I lost out on a bit of the experience there. But we can make it up. Not that big of a deal.
That was an interesting ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, so depending on how you hit assassins, and they have like an HP gate, they will just self-destruct, and unfortunately we don't get the experience when they do that, which isn't too big of a deal. We will just be hitting our next strength up a little later.
So I'm pretty sure what happened there is I didn't sidestep far enough, so he hit me. But this place is probably still fine.
I think you just went a little too early on the attack.
Maybe. Yeah, but there's actually kind of a glitch with the RC there. If he does the high DM where he like flies through instead of being on the ground, it can actually cause him to DM, which we think has something to do with how close you are to him when he does it. So we can try to avoid it, but sometimes you just get DM'd and there's nothing you can do. So now we're done with Roxas, thankfully.
Yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know, a DM kind of stands for Desperation Move. Desperation Move generally refers to when the boss goes immune to damage and will just do a very long animation of an attack, and you have to kind of sit through it. DM is kind of a loose term, but you see it mostly used with data, or organization members. So we're finally Sora. In that menu, we actually take Donald items, and we equip aerial recovery. Ethers are pretty important throughout this run, so we grab all our party members' items, and we take Donald's potion because we don't want him healing him a bit later.
Yeah, so here in station fights, though, pretty much it's timed, or you have to do a certain number of hits. So basically we just try to get as much EXP as possible while still trying to end it fast. So we try not to do finishers. Help speed it up and get us more hits.
Yeah. Station fight's really interesting because Donald can actually go like too ham, and he can kill too many things. We don't want him to kill too many things because that means we get to hit things less. So only hits from Sora actually count during this, and you'll see KHFan try to go for double hits on things, because one swing that hits 2 things will count as 2 hits. So if you can hit 2 things, he'll try to.
Okay, so at the end there, I started doing finishers because you get a strength increase that if you do 1, 2, and then you do another empty hit, you will kill them, so it's just faster to do the finisher. But that was a very solid stage of fights. I'm pretty sure I ended that pretty early.
Yeah, unfortunately I can never tell unless I have my splits, because even sometimes when I end on a hit, I lost time. I'm notoriously very bad at station fight. Like, I'm one of the few runners that can't ever end early, and I feel bad.
Now we get introduced to Heartless. The first Heartless that we fight, which is Shadows, are very annoying. They just have the ability to go underground and do whatever they want.
Yeah, so unfortunately the AI for the Shadows is kind of really dumb. In the sense that, like, a Shadow can go underground, walk up to you, and just go underground again. And there's nothing we can really do about that except for pray. We'll try to just kill him as fast as possible so that doesn't happen, but it's RNG. Dude, Donald really wanted to talk to you there.
Yeah, he was pretty close. But basically the EXP I missed out on in the pre-Axel 2 fight, I kind of made up for it in Station Heights. Because I'm pretty good on EXP now. See, that Shadow went right underground as I tried to hit him, even though he just came up. There's nothing really we can do. Until later when we get an ability, we get magic, which is fire, which helps to keep him underground, up above ground, but I can't really talk.
Yeah, we keep them underground by burying them. Just kill them all. Yeah, fire has the ability to hit over multiple frames in an AoE around you. So it's actually really good against groups of shadows, just so you can have the ability to hit them all at the same time and not have to, like, focus on one. Wow, that first wave. So ideally,
so the soldiers have an RC. It's called Cyclone. We can use it to double, to get like double or triple kills, but we kill soldiers in a single air combo. So it's kind of not worth it in this.
Yeah, and ideally we would hit 7 like before the end of tower, and he did. So his experience, while it was a little behind that basement, is pretty okay now.
So yeah, I was just given Valor form, which I'll be showing off in quite soon actually, but Valor form's going to be used a lot throughout the early game of this run until we get other drive forms that we'll be prioritizing.
Yeah, so Valor form base movement is faster than Sora, so we'll use it a lot just to move faster. We also do more damage because we'll have 2 Keyblades equipped, and Valor form is just useful for a lot of the early game strategies we have.
Yeah, that was a bit of a movement tech. You can actually lock onto worlds on the world map, and if you hit circle, you can warp right to them.
Are you gonna go for the leapfrog to Twilight Town too?
Twilight Town 2. I can do the leapfrog to Disney Castle.
Okay. Go for the Twilight Town 2 one as well.
I don't know how to do that.
I've never tried that. Go for it anyways. So right here we can actually do quite a little cool thing where we jump and we swing here. Oh, unfortunately it didn't land on top of the thing. But you save, like, actually a deceptively large amount of time by landing on there rather than running up to it. So this fight here is actually another fight where you can die to progress the fight, but like we said earlier, we want the experience for Sora and for Valor Form. The way we gain experience in Valor Form is to do hits. Wow, that was a really good fight. And so the more things we hit, the faster it levels up, and we want to hit level 2 before the end of mission 1. So right here we actually kill these enemies for Valor hits, and because we're going to come back through this area. Since beginner doesn't get extra AP like crit does at the beginning, we have to grab a lot of AP boost. And specifically we need one over here at the start of Hollow Bastion. And since we grab this AP boost, we grab a drive recovery on the way to Bailey as well. This drive recovery is really important for a strategy we do later called one cycle on Thresholder. If we miss one cycle, we'll need this drive recovery. If not, we can use it in Timeless River. So this is Bailey. Bailey is probably one of the heaviest RNG segments in the early game. Ideally, what we want to do is we just want to get rid of the very first wave of Dusk and then do a series of guards and doing the RCs on the Samurais. This Samurai RC will do an AoE kind of splash around it that lets us kill waves of enemies. But unfortunately, Leon has the ability to just hit them and knock them out of their attack or the RC. Leon is ultimately mainly a detriment in this fight and isn't ever very useful. So KH, as you saw there, KH was kind of waiting for Leon. He was, I'm guessing, ideally hoping he would run toward the wall so he wouldn't be able to hit the samurais as they spawn. So the main priority for this fight is actually the samurais, and then you want to focus on the creepers. Once you kill the creepers, the last wave of Dusk will spawn, and you want to get those out as fast as possible. As you saw earlier, we actually have the magic Blizzard right now, and Blizzard is really useful because it pierces targets, so you can actually go through multiple enemies. So he's lined up here trying to Blizzard through them and get as much damage as possible.
Yeah, Leon pretty much ruined that fight.
Yeah. It's really rare that you get a very good Bailey. I would say that was a little below average.
It was below average, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was still it's nothing to reset over, usually. But yeah. So we're gonna enter our first Gummy ship mission, and we actually go to LOD first for the any percent route. Even though Beast Castle battle level is lower, we don't actually kill that many things in Beast Castle, so we don't level up. Nice Gummy ship editor.
I don't know how to get out of this.
This is not. You have to hit like select or something.
Okay.
I only know that because I've done the same thing.
That's happened to me multiple times, and yeah.
So we actually go to LOD first because we kill more things and get more experience. And by doing LOD and then Olympus Coliseum, we actually get access to Hero's Crest, and we're a much higher level, which means we can just go through Beast Castle really quickly.
Yeah, one time I did that. I was stuck in there for like over a minute. I had no idea what to do.
Yeah, no, like I've made that same mistake, and it's just like, what do I do? And then I
feel so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so unfortunately, unlike Kingdom Hearts 1, we can't speed up Gummy missions. Like, if we made our Gummy ship a tissue box and stuff, it wouldn't matter. So we just have to kind of sit through these. Some people hate them, some people don't mind them. I personally don't really mind them that much. Because some of them allow you to take a bathroom break. So you're not sitting here for 4 hours. Some Gummy ships missions are a lot more dangerous than others. The most notable ones that will kill you in the any percent route are the Olympus Coliseum and the Agrabah one. Mulan isn't too dangerous if you're paying attention, or Land of Dragons one isn't too dangerous if you're paying attention, but it can kill you. And yeah, beginner any percent means we play on the beginner difficulty, and any percent means we try to go as fast as possible to beat the game. In some games, you do only the required stuff. Some games will actually do optional stuff to speed up the game. In Kingdom Hearts, any percent is basically do only the required things, at least for Kingdom Hearts 2. We only do required worlds, so we'll actually be skipping all of Pride Lands and all of Atlantica, and we skip 100 Acre Woods aside from the very first visit to it that's required. We also don't revisit Olympus Coliseum or Space Paranoids. If we were to do an all worlds run, which is defined by sealing all the world's keyholes, that's about an additional hour to the run. And like half of that is just Finny fun and 100 Acre Woods. So one little thing to note there is that we actually don't want to kill too many things in the Gummy Ship mission, because if our points get too high, we'll get an additional blueprint at the end, which loses like 3 to 5 seconds.
So there, I was putting Goofy in my party so that I can use Valor here, and I was also taking Ping's Ether, because Ether is very useful, and then I was just putting another potion on, because I'm going to need another potion for Strat and Haze Escape, where we EXP boost, just for safety. And I also just put combo boost on, so we can do a bit more damage with our combos. Our ground combos, it doesn't affect air combos. There's actually a building called Air Combo Boost for that.
Yeah, so if you saw the 2 English run earlier, you actually notice we don't use Valor Form in 2 English here. And the big reason for that is because Valor Form doesn't level up as fast, as well as you do not get drive back as fast in 2 English. You get drive back a lot faster in 2FM, which means we can use Valor Form here and have enough drive by the end of Mission 3 to use it again. Wow, and KHFan leveled up in pre-missions, which means he got a lot of hits in somewhere.
In the pre-Bailey fight, because of the way the finishers hit everything, I think.
Yeah. So since he hit level 2 already, he can just kind of destroy these Nightwalkers without worrying about his hits. So like we mentioned earlier, fire is really good against shadows. It just lets you deal with all of them simultaneously. So right now, since we haven't leveled up yet, it actually takes a full combo and a hit to kill Nightwalkers. As well as it would take 3 combos to kill an Assault Rider. Once we level up, it would only take 1 combo to kill a Nightwalker and 2 combos to kill an Assault Rider. So that's just like how important strength can be in this run. We'll actually level up in the middle of Mission 2 here. And it's pretty important to keep track of that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So if you notice, KHFan is whiffing a few hits, and whiffing a few hits on enemies can be pretty bad, because especially for Nightwalkers, if you whiff a hit and they're able to retaliate, the retaliations are really On critical mode, they would be really dangerous, and they also just lose you quite a bit of time. They can also potentially just fly all the way to the other side of the screen, so you can't hit them, which is not fun. So right here, we actually KHFan will do a cute thing where he can double blizzard and kill this shadow before he goes underground again. The rest of this mission is just find the shadows and use fire and hit them.
Okay, so it's pretty solid missions aside from mission 2. And basically we want to do pretty much 3 empty hits on that Nightwalker, so we don't kill him, and then we can kill him with our drive explosion. So the drive explosion loads during like the end of the fight instead of when we're actually like kind of walking around. Saves like a second or 2.
And if you're on the HD version, it saves you like a good 3 seconds.
Of time, yeah.
So this is mountain climb. Mountain climb first wall is not consistent. No matter what we try to do, you just can't make it consistent. People try different things, and wow, did you actually kill this soldier? How do you and Ninten do that?
It's really dependent on what the soldier that you first target does.
Yeah. So for the first wall, we kill all 3 enemies, so we can do use the reaction command on the wall. The second wall will actually only kill 2 Nightwalkers usually, because you can destroy the wall before the 3rd Nightwalker hits you. And there, we actually, the way the enemies spawn, since we run up the mountain so fast, since those enemies are spawned, the game can't actually spawn the assault rider that it usually spawns right at that wall. So it's a lot faster and safer that we can do that.
What are empty hits? And empty hits are basically a hit that's not a finisher.
Yeah, so finishers will generally knock your enemy really far away from you if it doesn't kill. So we'll try not to do finishers unless we know it will kill or if they won't fly away from us. Also, for every boss in this game, you have to kill them with a finisher. Finishers are finisher abilities or magics generally. Also, if you notice there, KHFan is doing 2 magics into a finisher attack, and that finisher will actually one-shot shadows due to having combo boost on at this point.
And that's something else that's cool about this game. You can kind of work magic into your combos, and you can like do chain finishers. In like mass form, you can chain finishers with magic, but in like regular combos, you actually get like magic finishers, or you can do 2 magics and then a finisher, stuff like that.
Currently, the only items KHFan has equipped are Kingdom Key, the medal, and 2 potions and an ether.
Yeah, well, also Starseeker is on Valor, but...
And Starseeker's on Valor. In terms of abilities, we have... what, combo boost and aerial recovery right now?
Yeah, but now I have guard, scan, and I think sliding dash. Yeah, sliding dash is the other one that I just equipped in that menu.
You equip them here?
Yeah, I do it a weird way. I split the menu up because I used to accidentally exit the menu when I do it.
Right.
So I just kind of started doing it like that.
Okay.
Because if you have to open the menu now, when the menu's not like automatically open for you, you have to go through like a 5-page like slide tutorial, and we save that till later. And most of the time we try to do menus when the game opens the menu for us, just because it's like less inputs and we don't have to wait for it to open ourselves.
So yeah, for this fight here, it's a timed fight, so we can't speed it up, but we want to kill as many enemies as possible just because of being a head-in experience is good, and we're going to need 640 money at a certain point in the game, so getting as much money here as possible is nice. There are a few backups we can do to make sure we have enough money, but it's nicer if we can just have it here. You're not getting any RCs.
Yeah, but I still got a decent amount of EXP.
So ideally what would happen here is we would get the Rapid Thruster RC. It's an AoE that kills a lot of... Oh wow, that last set of combos really got you a lot. And it just kills Bolt Towers really fast. Bolt Towers are our main focus there because they give more XP and they drop money.
Basically in that menu I just put Milan onto Sora attack. Not Sora attack, is it party attack?
Party attack.
It's party attack. So that she won't attack the enemy that I'm attacking. And we want that for Shan Yu because there's Heartless that attack the door, and we want them killed, but we don't want to have to take the time to go kill them.
Yeah, so if Mulan or we didn't kill those Heartless, they would actually kill the door before we can kill Shan Yu. So it's nice that Mulan can usually take care of them. Sometimes she decides not to. So right here we actually use Mulan's limit to just fly down the mountain. Because, yeah. And then since we're out of MP, we can't use it, the limit again, but fortunately we can just use Valor Form to take care of this fight really quickly.
So basically, you do the drive explosion, and then Milan doing attack should kill the 4 Nightwalkers, and you only have to take care of the 3 Bolt Towers. But if the Bolt Towers keep trying to do their attacks, where they like go up and then do like a little shockwave, that can be really annoying because then it's really impossible for you to get any hits off. Or they can do their Bolt Reversal RC, which wastes a bunch of time because that doing the RC doesn't kill them, and you're still gonna have to hit them after.
So this fight is pretty straightforward actually. We're gonna get him to his HP gate as fast as possible, and then we're going to hit him as he powers up, and then revert and guard him, so that we can use the reaction command on him to knock him out of purple phase and then finish him off with a few combos. There's actually a few different strats that you can do here, but they all work out to be basically the same speed. Probably the biggest worry in that fight is actually the bird, because the bird can hit you out of your combos and prevent you from guarding Shan Yu.
Yeah, this is the Gummy mission for OC. This can be a bit scary because there's bombs that, when they hit you, they take out about 1/4 of your health. So if you get hit by a couple of them and just tossed around, you can die pretty easily. So I'm going to be trying to play this a little safe.
Also, I guess another thing to quickly note is that unlike Kingdom Hearts 1, you will take the same damage no matter what difficulty you're on for Gummy ships, so critical and beginner would take the same amount of damage here. Kingdom Hearts 1 is a little different with that. So KHFan, which is your favorite Gummy ship mission?
Not this one. Either the Beast Castle one or the one before Port Royal, because those are ones you can actually take a break in. Like, I always go and get like food or go to the bathroom near them, so it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna try to kill the cannon just so there's like no threat of them actually doing anything to me. Makes things a lot easier. I have actually 100% of the Gummy missions once in my life to get the Platinum Trophy on 2.5. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. It's a lot easier than if you were to do it in, say, KH1, because the Gummy mission objectives in that are actually really hard. Some of them are really hard. But in this game, the Gummy mission objectives aren't that hard. And you can just make a donut ship, and it makes things very easy, for the most part.
So yeah, next world is Olympus Coliseum, and everyone loves Olympus Coliseum. Oh wait.
Oh wait.
Oh wait.
Yeah. Olympus Coliseum is kind of like known amongst the community as like the worst world in this game.
Yeah, Olympus Coliseum would be like the proud Agrabah of KH1. Olympus Coliseum just has a lot of things that can go wrong, and it's one of the like longest worlds you have to deal with. There's just a lot of RNG, a lot of things you can't control, and a lot of dangerous things.
Cake.
When we get into OC, we kind of have to. We can't use drive forms in the underworld yet, so we pretty much have to walk around for a while. So the movement's kind of slow, but it's not that bad. So I accidentally opened the menu right there, and I had to go through this little scroll, but we had to do it later anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I got confused
so much
loading screen I was in.
Yes.
I got confused.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I always pause here. This is one of the screens where I always just pause, and it's like, well.
I used to do it in the right before missions, too.
Yeah, I do it right before missions and right before we Mulan Limit down the mountain. Those are the two big places in LED. I'll do it.
Luckily, it doesn't really waste any time. It's just kind of because we do it later anyway. It's just kind of it messes up your splits, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Right there, I did a little bit of movement tech. You can get like thrusted forward by that Lancer, the Lance Soldier, and if we jump and do it, we don't have to go through the lag animation after. So it's a little faster to jump before we get hit by it.
So yeah, we're coming up on Hades Escape. Hades Escape on beginner wouldn't be scary if it wasn't for the fact that we experience boosted in 2FM. The reason we experience boosted is because if we can hit level 14 for Hydra, it gives us the possibility of killing Hydra before the third Trinity, which saves like 15 seconds. So we go for it. And the way we experience boost is we actually have to be below half HP for it to trigger. And that is just scary due to like how Hades Escape is.
basically in that menu, I was taking off like orange potions, and then I was de-equipping any abilities that they could use to heal me with, and then just putting EXP boost on, so I get an EXP boost.
Yes, so at the very start here, we'll see KHFan just get hit by a series of fireballs. It takes like 4 or 5 to get you to the ideal HP.
That's it. Feel the heat. Feel the heat.
And unfortunately, Orin can just walk up to Hades and block the fireballs. So yeah, another thing to note about experience boost is it only works if Sora is the one that kills it, so anything that Donald or Orin kills don't count. Fortunately, the limit that Orin lets us use, the final part does count as a Sora hit, so we can use that to kill things if necessary.
He's gonna do his deck, I think. That's what I did. I was a little slow, but I was trying to play it safe so I don't die.
Yeah. Oh wow, that was terrifying. So it's also important that we try to get as much money that isn't out of the way here, just so we have a higher chance of hitting that 640 money. So unfortunately, Backcry actually doesn't count as for experience boost, so we can't spam it like we could in something like Crit. So we'll generally use the limit on this last wave here because this large body and the lancers are very scary. Like the large body can just push you into a wall and infinitely combo you until you're dead. And also you just have, on top of that, you have Hades going around.
Okay. You made it out alive, and that's really the only thing that matters in this fight.
Yeah, so the ideal experience we're looking for is to be like at least less than 400 here, and I think you were like 283, which is like really good. So we're pretty good on experience. Right here, we'll actually throw our remaining potions if we have any, because the way items work in this game is any item you pick up from a chest will automatically go into your equipped items if you don't have anything there. So by throwing our potions, which we never set to auto reload, we can equip 3 ethers without ever having to menu them on. It's just a very small optimization in how we do menus, which is what a lot of this game comes down to.
So there's actually 2 different strats you can do on Cerberus. One is where you can die and get Mickey. That one's a little more RNG heavy for me. And then there's also one where you just fight it out, and I prefer to fight it out. Because I've had a lot of fights where Mickey's damage just didn't do the job, and I wasted up a lot of time.
Yeah. Ideally, both strats are around the same, but Mickey is easier, but easier to mess up as well. On critical mode, where you die a lot faster, and it's a lot easier to spawn Mickey, and where you would die, it's usually more ideal to use them. But in beginner, where we don't really have the risk of dying as much, some people opt to go for this strat. I think KHFan and Nin10 are the 2 people who usually do it on 2FM. But essentially what we'll do, KHFan will do, is he will attack Cerberus' head until you see Cerberus start the fireball animation. And then he'll start Orin's limit. Reasons for this is because you get a lot of hits in while his heads are low during the fireballs, as well as we get iframes so we don't get hit by the fireballs. After that, he'll jump into Cerberus so you can get the reaction command to knock him down, and then he'll just finish him off with a few combos. And he killed him before he stood up, so that was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, if you kill him before he stands up, that's a good fight. So the earns mini games that are coming up, they're a bit slower than crit because we don't have draw or a second finisher, but so we actually had to walk around a little bit more and collect to actually pick up the orbs. But we can still get these done pretty fast.
What boss RCs do the runs utilize or ignore? Actually, most RCs go ignored throughout the run. Some fights where it's required, such as like Twilight Town or Syax, we will be using them, or like Experiment to reform him. But things like Demix we ignore. Did you just kill that entire pack with one combo? Oh, how do you do that? Teach me how to do
Both
that.
of them, I don't know. That usually doesn't happen because Kingdom Key's range isn't actually that long. Like, it's kind of hard to do that.
But I'm trying to think of what else. Like Xemnas 1, we have to do the building RC at the start, so we'll do that. Final Xemnas will use RCs. But like Barbossa, we never use an RC. Hostile Program, we do use his RC to freeze him, so it's situational, but dude,
So basically, we knock the big orb, the big urn into the small one, so it spawns a bunch of big orbs that give you 10 each. Because if we just killed the big urn outright, it'd only give us 3 big orbs, and we wouldn't have enough to finish it fast.
The reason we play on the Japanese version is because for the PS2, Kingdom Hearts 2 FM was only released in Japan, and it was not released in English until the PS3 version came out on the 2.5 remix collection. And that version unfortunately loads an hour slower, so we don't run on that version generally.
That power boost chest that I picked up is actually the only one we can get throughout the run. And it's actually very useful because every single strength point, as I said earlier, is actually pretty valuable in this run. So, of course, we picked that up.
Emulators are generally banned for console Kingdom Hearts runs. There's a few handhelds that we allow it for, but for Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, they are banned. The loads are just too inconsistent and too fast to make it reasonable for competition.
There's actually an AP boost chest over there that we used to get, but we don't get anymore because we actually routed out an ability called Item Boost because it doesn't really help us out during the run at all.
Yeah, Item Boost actually only helps us on one fight, assuming you don't make any major mistakes by running out of MP where you shouldn't. And that's on Zigbar, where we can actually just throw the elixir rather than throwing 3 ethers. So this is the first time we encountered Demix here, and we just have to kill the water cleanse as fast as possible. Unfortunately, the RC is random in which direction it sends you, so there's no way to really consistently do this fight. Ideally, we would want to get around a 43 time, but generally you'll see like 38s to 39s. And if you get like really good RNG, you can actually get 50s. That's like extremely rare.
Yeah, 34 is not too good, but considering what you can get there, that's not too bad. Because I've had like 27, 28s there.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
The voices are in English because the final mix version, what they decided to put English voices with Japanese text. I'm not exactly sure on the reason why, but similar to how we prefer to hear characters in their native language, a lot of the Disney characters are natively in English. and a lot of people would say they sound better in English. So one theory is that the Japanese audience wanted to hear the Japanese character or the Disney characters in English. So right here, Goofy actually has 3 potions that we need to get rid of. We can menu them off earlier if we want for extra money, but since we can't speed up this first phase of Pete anyways, we can just make him throw them. So what we do is we actually we just take damage here so that Goofy will throw them at us. Oh, is Goofy really gonna bash here? Did he throw them already?
I think.
Dang. So one thing that's nice about this is that we can actually experience boost during this phase as well. But it can be a little dangerous. And KHFan hit level 14 in this part of the fight, which is nice because we don't have to worry about it at all anymore. So at the start of this fight, we'll actually go Valor form. Valor form just makes this fight a lot easier. And Valor form will instantly trigger the backfire reaction command that we can use on Pete to kill off a lot of the extra enemies and to do a lot of damage to him. I'm not sure if we mentioned this earlier, but since we have 2 Keyblades on, our strength actually increases. Which means we do more damage with reaction commands generally, and we do more damage to Pete.
In that menu, I put on Trinity Limit because Group Trinity is very, very useful in this fight. And then I also just took off EXP boost and put combo boost back on since I was already in the abilities menu, and I had to do that pretty soon anyway. So here I'm gonna do something called, we call it 95%. But basically we're skipping the RC that we do off of Hydra's back.
Yeah, so this is the only category where we actually do this. We have enough damage to actually kill the heads before Hydra even has a chance to put it underground. We call it 95%, but it's not really 95%.
Okay, I got lucky because sometimes the last head kind of goes up and goes underground, like kind of does whatever he wants sometimes, but
yeah, right there where he lifts the head and puts it down, he has a chance to actually just forgot to throw the Aether. So you're generally supposed to throw an Aether there. Because, unfortunately, unlike Crit, we don't have MP Hastera, and Crit would actually regain all the MP back before we needed to.
I was a little low, I don't know if he's gonna kill. Alright, we're good.
Oh, wow.
Perfectly fine.
So unfortunately, KHFan got the worst head pattern there to get actual Trinity lists. It's just generally, I think that's the hardest one to get it on.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to tell that you got that pattern if you have it, because
yeah,
his heads are kind of moving around in a weird way.
So the thing that's nice about Trinity lists, on top of saving the time, is you actually save 2 Aethers, which means you can use them a lot more freely. Beginner's a little more tight on Aethers than Crit, but you're still usually fine. But saving 2 is always nice.
Hey, wait a minute.
So right here,
we just got a Keyblade called Hero's Crest. I'm going to be equipping that right away because it's very useful. It has air combo boost, which means all of our air finishers do a little bit more damage. And since we prioritize air combos a lot, that helps. And this is the only time we actually come to 100 Acre Wood in the 90% run. If we're doing all worlds, we come back and do all the torn pages and stuff. But in this fight, I need to kill 3 enemies so that all the enemies will be spawned in, and then I can use a Trinity. If I use a triangle Trinity, major drive, it will actually instantly do the finisher and it'll just kill everything.
Yeah, so the way Trinity actually works is there's 3 parts to it, and each part is kind of like a different like tied to like Donald, Goofy, or Sora. And each part itself doesn't do damage unless we incorporate magnet, but by itself the parts don't do damage, but they add up to a hit counter, and at the end when we use the finisher, the damage we do is based on how many hits we can get. You can also end the Trinity earlier by only doing 1 or 2 parts like you saw in Hydra, or you can do all 3 parts that you'll see in some situations. Right there we also get Chicken Little, which is our first summon of the game, and he is pretty useful for as soon as Timeless River and Beginner.
This is another Gummy mission where you can kind of just take a little break because you don't take that much damage, and then there's also an enemy in the middle of it that you can kill and it just gives you a bunch of HP.
Let's go.
But yeah, there is a KH game on PSP. It's called Birth by Sleep, and there's actually 2 runs from that coming up. There's a Terror Story Beginner Percent by Sonic Shadow Silver 2, and then I'm pretty sure Sly 1020 will be doing a Rod Arte, which is the Realm of Darkness, and this was Save Corruption, which actually allows you to do a lot more damage on level 1 than you normally be able to do, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they'll mention it later again, but Save Corruption is actually pretty interesting because it's the only Save Corruption we really have in a KH game. Most KH games are built very well for their time. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are, aside from the ports, are very stable games. It's really hard to break them or sequence break them. Like we can't just like, aside from the Cavern of Remembrance, we can't clip out and like skip any major sequences just because of the way the game's programmed. They generally won't even make loading zones exist until you watch certain cutscenes.
Yeah, a good example of that is KH1. When you're in Hollow Bastion, you can, if you use Dumbo, you can skip going like inside. You can like go past the room where you fight Riku 1, and you can kind of skip going in there and like the library and stuff. But then when you try to use the reaction command to like go up higher, it's just not there because you haven't triggered a certain cutscene yet.
No, like the original developers of these games like thought these things very well through, which is cool, but also sucks from a speedrunning perspective in some ways. So I'm not exactly sure why Trinity can kill Demyx clones, but it's pretty much Demyx clones are like based off like a hit finisher counter kind of thing rather than actual HP. So I'm assuming the Trinity just counts as a hit on them, which is enough to get rid of them.
this is another hit-based fight, and we're just gonna use the Ultima part of Trinity to rack up a bunch of hits, and it'll just end the fight pretty much instantly. So there's a Moogle shop right here. We used to go there to pick up 2 Sardonyx rings, but we actually saved buying stuff until later because we need more AP now. And we just buy Tourmaling rings later, which give more AP, but they give the same amount of strength. So we just kind of save that for later.
So yeah, at this point, our anti-points are actually getting really high where we would have the chance at anti-form. But since you can never get anti-form if you drive out of combat, we abuse this to still be able to use the forms for movement. So right here, this is just a silly little mini game with the wardrobe, and you just kind of have to hit triangle at the right time. If you mash it too hard, she'll knock you away and move back over. So
that was a little weird.
KHFan got a little KH1 pushing right there. Yeah,
I'm
generally
gonna go for a strat called one cycle here. You can explain that.
So yeah, so for one cycle, by being level 14 and having Hero's Crest, we can actually kill Thresholder before he goes back into the door. Unfortunately, to do this, we have to whiff exactly 1 hit. Otherwise, we would over damage the Possessor, and it would go back in the door.
I think I whipped too many hits there.
So yeah, if we don't whiff 1 hit, he'll go back in the door. Interesting. So, even if we don't get 1 cycle, it is possible to back it up. It's just very tight.
Yeah. So if you saw me step to the right to get those drive orbs, I did that just for safety, so I don't lose drive here, and I can save the drive recovery for a strat later.
Right. So yeah, interestingly enough, in Kingdom Hearts 2 English, you don't have enough damage, so you have to hit all your hits. But in 2FM, we do more damage, so you have to hit whiff exactly 1 hit. It's an interesting little difference, but unfortunately, the problem with that is that Valor Form isn't the most consistent with hitting things. So we can't guarantee that we'll get 1 cycle every time. And not getting 1 cycle, but getting the backup saves about 15 seconds alone.
Well, yeah, loses. And then, but in KH2 English, we don't have a drive recovery to just give us our drive back. So we don't have drive for movement, and then we don't have drive for the upcoming fights. So everything's a lot slower.
And
but in this game, since we have that drive recovery, none of that really is a problem since... Oh, yeah, another difference between this game and KH2 English is that drive recovery is restore 3 drive instead of 1. Which is another reason why 1 cycle isn't really as big of a deal, like failing it.
I think this'll do the trick.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check my money in this menu because
you're gonna get the 10?
Just in case I can get the 10.
Yeah.
So basically, I need enough money. I need 640 money to buy the 2 Tourmaline rings, and money's a little tight sometimes, depending on like what you killed and what like you actually picked up. So I just need to check my money and then make sure that I can actually. And if I don't have enough money, I can just grab a tent to sell. I think that sells for about 40. I can sell that and any potions that I have, and we should be good. sec. Okay, I'm fine on money. I have way more than enough.
Oh, you still take off those abilities, dang.
Yeah. And right there, I kind of save warp. I left the world so I could, and then just so I could go back in a different area, which is a lot faster than walking through the whole world to get over here.
Yeah, that's actually Beast Castle is the only world where we save warp, and we'll be actually doing it
Let's go.
in both first and second visit. Although in the second visit we don't warp back in right away. So right here we'll be going for a thing called Windowless, similar to the one cycle. Valor Form is able to just do a lot of damage, but at the very start of the fight here we'll take one step back, or at least one step back, and this changes Shadowstalker's AI to go underground rather than into the window. So KH2 goes for a few hits there, and then he's going to break the chandelier, and he's going to do a square combo. Unfortunately, Shadowstalker went toward the window, so he still goes into it, but right out of it, we can still use the backup and get kill Shadowstalker. Ideally, what would happen there during the square combo is that Shadowstalker would shoot toward the middle of the room, which gives us time to kill him as he flies toward the window. But getting the backup is fine, it just loses a few seconds. As long as you don't lose Valor, the fight is generally okay here. So right here at the very start, KHFan will square. By square, I mean push the square button twice, which forces the finisher to come out, and then he'll instantly go into a solo trinity. If you don't have Donald and Goofy specifically in your party, you'll actually only do the break part of the trinity, except now it does damage, and Sora is alone. But with the square and the trinity and then 2 air combos, it's enough to just kill Darkthorn before he does anything.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt a little bit of leapfrog here. I don't really know exactly how to do it, but I've done it before, and it's kind of weird.
But yeah, one thing that's interesting to note is that Kingdom Hearts 2 English and Kingdom Hearts 2 FM do different does their damage differently, but the strats for Darkthorn are exactly the same. Kingdom Hearts 2 FM does more damage with the actual air combos, but 2 English does more damage with the Trinity. But they equal out to both kill Darkthorn exactly the same way. But as you saw there, KHFan tried to use lock-on to his advantage, to lock onto a faraway target and warp to it quickly.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how to do that, but I just, like... Are you supposed to, like...
Nintendo says he wiggles the analog, and I'm like, what does that mean? What do you mean by wiggle?
Like, can you get it? You can't get it straight up to Disney Castle.
Yeah, you have to go. You have to do 2 jumps.
Hollow Bastion.
Yeah, Hollow Bastion to Disney Castle. So yeah, during escorts is our last chance to really make up any money we're missing. I've been as low as like 580 money, which means I needed to make up 60 money during escorts. But KHFan has more than enough, so he can just go straight down the middle and not worry about it.
Let's go. This way. Let's go. This way. Let's go.
So the way Minnie works here is we have to kind of call her toward us to make her move. And if she gets too close to you, she'll actually stop. So so there's a bit of a technique to make sure we can move her as fast as possible. But if she ever gets hit, it's really slow because she'll just stand there and then throw Pearl out. So we try to avoid her from ever getting hit by using her. I guess it's called Faith in English or something, right? But it's called Holy in Japanese.
Yeah.
I guess a fun thing to know while KHFan runs down the middle of this room is that some abilities are actually called different things in the JP and English versions. So like, for example, I mentioned Minnie's ability in Japanese is translated as holy, but they call it faith in the English version of the game. There's a few other ones like stride break versus ground break, reflect guard versus guard. Some interesting translating. Scan is called Libra, like it would be in Final Fantasy in the Japanese version.
Well, Final Fantasy games actually, it's Libra in English.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird.
it's weird. It doesn't make sense that they translate it to Scan in the English version of the game.
Yeah.
This way. Let's go.
And then like horizontal slash, it's called like air side slash or something in Japanese. Some interesting things there. So right there we actually get our second accessory slot, so we can equip 2 rings now, but we don't actually have a second ring yet, whereas other versions would have a second sardonyx ring or a second accessory to equip there. We actually equip that a little later on, because in Timeless River we can buy something called tourmaline rings. Tourmaline rings give 1 strength as well, but more importantly they give us 2 AP. And by buying the 2 tourmaline rings, it saves us the time from having to grab additional AP boosts.
And just a note, from the actual mini escort, completing that, we got an extra accessory slot, which gives us the ability to equip both of those now.
Yeah.
And then Timeless P is kind of a Joko fight. You can just do a full Valor combo. That's it. And then in Windows, I'm going to be making use of Chicken Little a lot, because he can just suck all the enemies in for me.
Yeah, we actually do the second window first here, and that's because we want to hit, is it what level? 16 or something?
Yeah, 16.
Yeah,
or 15 or something like that.
Yeah, what?
It's 15. It's definitely 15.
We want to hit a certain level to get reaction boost, which allows us to one-shot hammer frames in the first window. So we actually do the windows a little out of order here. This room is a little frustrating because enemies can get stuck on buildings on the ground, or they can be too far away for your actual combos. And KHFan is actually so far ahead of experience that he hit 15 in window 2.
Yeah, I'm really good on the XP right now.
Another thing to note, the difference between the 2 English version and the 2FM version is they actually add like a whole additional wave of enemies for Timeless River windows, which makes it unreasonable to kind of do the 2 English strats here where we abuse group trinity. Another thing to note is that summons actually don't run out as fast in 2FM, or well, they run out as fast, but we are able to restore the drive faster, which means they don't run out as fast.
So yeah, the second set of cars was how they're supposed to go. The first car kind of got away from me because of the way Chicken Little pulled them in.
Yeah.
You're usually supposed to do a combo, and then 2 hits thunder, so you can go into an air combo with aerial dive.
But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people casually have a lot of trouble with those cars.
Kinda got confused right there.
Window 3 again.
Basically I just equipped the reaction boost for this window. so we can kill the hammers with 1 RC instead of 2.
We used to actually equip counter guard there as well for the Pete fight, but it's actually faster if you don't equip it at all still, but it makes the fight a little harder. But we found out that if we don't need the drive recovery on 1 cycle, we can use it here to use Valor on Pete again.
So if you use a fire in midair there, it helps you stay in the air longer, but I still fell before I could use the last RC. But as long as you kill the hammers with the RC before Chicken Little sucks them back down, it's still pretty fast.
Yeah.
So this is the only window that we don't actually use Chicken Little, because we need Valor after, and this window, when you beat the last window, it doesn't take you out of whatever drive form you were in. Or if you have something summoned, it won't give you drive back, if this year's summon will still be out. Basically just showing off the ending the Trinity immediately to get a finisher again, right there. Then we go Valor here for Boat Pete, so the one for movement, but then secondly, so we can do more damage to him and potentially 2 cycle him, depending on what pattern we get.
Yeah, the reason we use Valor is because, like we mentioned several times, is the second Keyblade increases our strength, which means we do more damage to the actual the crate thing holding the cornerstone.
Later, losers.
And also there's an AP boost all the way down here that we have to grab,
You mugs could follow me.
but it's not too far out of the way.
Yeah, we're really starved for AP in the early mid game. It's kind of necessary to grab this. You'll notice that KHFan starts only doing 2 hits, or 1 single hits, because if you're caught in a finisher as the reaction command pops up, you won't have enough time to hit the reaction command. And he actually hit level 3.
Yeah, I hit level 3.
Which will make Pete a little faster.
Yeah, that means I have more drive to work with in this fight. Extra drive gauge.
So we mentioned earlier that our anti-points are actually really high here, but interestingly enough, in this fight, since we have old Pete with us, we cannot get anti-form. This works for any fight where you have a quote-unquote 4th party member, so things like Pete and or Hercules and Olympus Coliseum, this would work as well. Is that really not his HP gate? That was weird.
Somehow.
Yeah, doing a series of air combos on Pete will just transition him instantly. He has a series of hard HP gates that we have to hit with the finisher, but fortunately almost every hit of Valor counts as a finisher. So we can just blow through these windows.
So yeah, that was pretty much a perfect fight, aside from not hitting his HP gate on the first one, but that's probably the fastest Pete fight I've ever had.
Yeah, that was insanely good. Oh, you even got the second RC kill on the last one.
Yeah.
So if you time your RCs correctly there, he will fall into the second one and not bounce up again. It's a small time save, but it is like a second or 2 there.
Yeah, right there I got Wisdom Form, which actually resets, every time you get a drive form, it resets your anti-points. So now, until I go drive another 5 times, I can use drives in battle, and I won't have a risk of getting any form. So basically how anti-form works is you get 1 anti-point every time you go into a drive, and then once you hit 5 anti-points, you have a chance of going anti-form when you're in battle. And then every time you get a drive form, it'll reset that.
Yeah, there's a few exceptions to that rule. For example, if you have a forced party member, as in you can't switch them out, examples of this are Ping during the first part of Land of Dragons and Captain Jack Sparrow during the this latter half of the Port Royal first visit. You actually cannot get anti-points during that time. So you'll notice we actually drive a lot in the very first part of Land of Dragons, but we're still able to drive in combat later on. And we can actually drive. We don't have enough drive to do this, but we could drive during Barbossa infinite amount of times and not get anti-form.
Something else, that if you don't have any party members, you won't get an anti-point when you go into a drive form. So later in the game, when we have limit form, we use that a lot, and then since it doesn't rack up our anti-points, we're still able to go drive in other places. This is one of the other Gummy mission that I was talking about, where you can just kind of sit and do nothing. If you leave the controller, you have to come back at the end for a little bit, but actually in KH2 English, since you take less damage in Gummy missions, you can leave the controller for the whole thing and you'll still be left with a little bit of health at the end, which is kind of cool. They're pretty much Gummy missions in all their glory right here.
You start singing or something?
Oh god. Yeah, Port Royal coming up. It's kind of an interesting world because you get to prioritize magic a lot because it does a lot of damage to pirates, and it has like kind of hidden properties when you use them. When you use magic specifically on pirates, such as if you use Blizzard, you can freeze them, and if you use Thunder on them, they kind of go crazy. And then if you use Fire, they get burned. I don't know if that actually like does like damage over time. I have no clue, but yeah, it's kind of
I
cool.
don't think so. But they run in circles and it's annoying.
Yeah, it makes them run in circles and stuff.
And the pirates can actually set themselves on fire, which is really bad.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I'm summoning Chicken Little here because there's a little forced fight right here where you can't actually damage the pirates yet. And when Chicken Little throws his like firecracker or baseball or something, it helps end the fight a lot faster for some reason. And then now, since we can actually damage them, he brings them in and we can just do some magic on them and kill them off real quick. Just like that.
Where are you?
And also something to note right there is that Chicken Little's firecrackers actually do a little bit of damage in this game, which can be useful in some places, but other times it can mess it up too. Oh wow, I already got level 2. So yeah, I kind of just used Chicken Little's limit to get a few more experience points in limit form. Not limit form. Summon. I was trying to do the menu while talking, didn't really work out.
But yeah, the reason we want level 2 summon is because we're gonna need Chicken Little for boat fight, and boat fight lasts a pretty long time. And we just want to make sure we don't lose him, otherwise we won't have drive for Barbossa unless we do some reflect shenanigans during barrels.
So yeah, I actually got an ether drop right there from that pirate, so that's cool.
Oh yeah, so pirates have a chance to drop.
Yeah, basically I thought you just kind of walk to the right and just start spamming Blizzard. But yeah, as Margaret was saying, some pirates can drop, they can drop ethers or potions, but they have a less chance of dropping potions because the game looks to drop an ether before it drops the potion.
And like we mentioned earlier, any ethers welcome. So this is another timed fight. We can't really nice punch. We can't really speed it up or anything, but we focus on just getting as much money as we can, really.
Yeah,
and
I also kind of grabbed that synthesis chest, like that item chest, because it gives me a synthesis item, which we need to turn in later to get an elixir, which is actually the only elixir we can get in this run.
Yeah, any synthesis item will give you the elixir. However, we can't guarantee that these pirates will drop any during the fights. So we have to just grab that one to make sure we have at least one.
So actually, I got a lot of XP there. I would have gotten a little more, but I got hit out of killing that last pirate at the end. But that was still a good amount of XP and money.
That was a swag finish. Yeah, so this next ambush, you can either skip it or fight it out. There's a few different strats here. It works out to be about the same speed.
I also got an ease drop, so that's kind of cool.
Man, you're just getting all the luck right now. Oh wow, that cannon shot.
Yeah.
Throws at a ball line, I'm sure.
Guess it was kind of worth because I got an ether drop. And since we get a little bit of EXP there, it kind of helps speed up a little bit of grinding later on when we have to get a good amount, when we have to get a bunch of EXP. So it kind of speeds it up a little bit.
Yeah. So we didn't really mention this, but just like the movie, the pirates don't actually, well, they aren't vulnerable unless they're in the moonlight. So that means we have to keep them away from the shadows as much as possible, which is why Chicken Little is really good, because they'll just pull them away.
But yeah, Chicken Little decided to not suck this one guy in.
So yeah, we just try to kind of chill in this corner over here. To stay away from the cannon shots that are coming. Oh my.
Yeah, so Chicken Little got hit by a cannon, which means he's locked in this animation. And there's not really anything I can do at all. But we managed to keep Chicken Little, so it's fine.
Yeah. Him getting stuck in firecrackers during the last wave or two isn't the worst thing. If you can keep him out. But if you get hit by a cannon shot at the very beginning, it's really bad because the only way to break Chicken Little out of that is to get hit by something that isn't a cannon. And since Chicken Little is spamming firecrackers, it's actually really hard to get something to hit you. Because it'll keep staggering them. So this barrel minigame is pretty straightforward. Just kind of hit the barrels. Not really much to it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I tend to go Valor right there, opposed to anywhere else, because it'll stun all the enemies, and it'll lower the chance of them hitting me out of an RC. But yeah, here we have to grab 2 AP boosts, and they're kind of hidden. And then this second AP boost can kind of be hard to get if the pirates get close to you, because you can't actually target the boxes that it's behind. Then you kind of just have to hope that you eventually hit it.
So yeah, at the start of Barbossa here, he'll actually summon an Illuminator and take away the Moonlight, so we can't hit him at all. So we have to get rid of the Illuminator first. And then afterwards we'll do 2 full ground combos on Barbossa. And then we'll just freeze him. Barbossa has the same properties as other pirates, which means we can freeze him. Unfortunately, freezing him just gets rid of all his revenge value. So we can just keep him stun locked like this for the entire fight.
Yeah, and since you just got a strength increase in boat fight, you do a lot of damage to him.
Oh my god. I've been watching crit for so much that, like, beginner destroys him so quickly.
You do so much more damage here than crit.
But yeah, like, if you've ever played this game casually on crit, you know that when Jack dies in that fight, you game over. Like, he can't die like a typical party member. So it's, being able to freeze him is just like a godsend. So this, this Agrabah Gummy is actually the second scariest in the run, I guess. At the very end, if you're not positioned correctly, you'll get hit by those shots again, and you can get bounced around and just kind of killed. But fortunately,
so this is what I try to do. I try to just not take that much damage in the first part, just to be safe at the end.
Yeah, and generally, if you sit in the middle of the screen, you won't get hit, but sometimes
there's still a chance, yeah. Yeah, this song is actually pretty cool, but if you listen to the remastered version that's on 2.5, it sounds really good. Because that was one of like the kind of the pluses of 2.5. The music was actually really good, but a lot of the other stuff was pretty bad. Such as loading times were really, really bad.
And timeless river music.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
I forget, and then I walk into the world, and I just like, it all comes back to me.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of the only really guitar song. Most of the other ones are just like piano or something like that. Piano / orchestra.
So yeah, one of the reasons we come to Agrabah first as opposed to Halloween Town is because now that we have Wisdom Form, we can level up Wisdom Form to level 3 and get Quick Run on Sora without so we can move quickly without having to use a Drive Form. This is really important because it's fast.
Yeah, it means that anytime we have a quick form movement all the time now instead of just being in when you're in a dry form, which is very, very fast.
And Agrabah just works out to be like the fastest way to do that. Without losing
you get to
too
kill
much time.
a lot of enemies in Agrabah. And it's also a lot of enemies that die really fast, have like a little bit of health. Are you serious?
What?
So these guys can do two different attacks, and one of them is a lot slower than the other. So I usually try to hit them out of the one attack just to be faster, but if he does the slow attack like multiple times, it's still just as slow.
Dude, I hate practicing this because you always get the slow RNG at the very start.
I was about to start using Trinity Limit there, because I was, since I was commentating Sephi's run.
Oh. Dang, that would have not been good.
Yeah. I mean, it's only 10 seconds slower, but yeah.
So right here we'll actually be putting on Reflect.
You put on Goofy's top ability, right?
No, you don't. It's
You
beginner.
don't?
That's crit.
Okay. It's the bottom one then.
You don't change
the
his
bottom of the
abilities in
three.
Agrabah.
Wait, what?
You don't touch Goofy's abilities.
Give me strength.
You don't?
No, that's too English.
Oh. Yes, yeah, I got confused.
So right there, what KHFan's supposed to do is equip Aerial Spiral. We used to equip Item Boost, but we don't equip that anymore. And we take Aladdin's Aethers and equip Reflect.
Yeah.
And then we go Wisdom Form and we kill those 3 Heartless because Wisdom Form actually levels up by killing Heartless. So we kill a series of Heartless to get level 3 by the end of Treasure Room. That was a very interesting spawn pattern you got.
Yeah, I've never actually seen it happen like that. That was weird. What Heartless is that again? Oh wait, I don't pick up this AP boost, so you just kind of go through. The Silver Rock kind of just flew
Whoa,
across.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen a Silver Rock take that long to ever die after you use DRC.
Yeah, he just flew all the way to the corner. The game is 480p graphics because it is natively 480p. So this minigame is just press triangle and jump.
Yep. So for the first 2 platforms of this following segment, if you hit either the fiery globes or the icy cubes, they retaliate, and then we just bait that into a reflect, and if everything's lined up right, you should be able to kill all 4.
So yeah, to facilitate us actually getting the reflects, we have Donald and Aladdin on Sora attack. This means they don't mess with the guys, because the only way for us to actually trigger the reflect damage is for things to hit us. And Goofy and Donald like to stop that from happening, so which is why Goofy's not in the party right now. Oh, you do Arceus wall.
Yeah, it kind of just happened like that.
So right here, by hitting the Fat Bandit with the Blizzard and then using Reflect, we can force him to retaliate and reflect it. And right here, we're going to do a bit of swag. We're going to kill this first Fortune Teller in the air, and then as we land, we're going to reflect and then do a Trinity. The reflect damage actually follows you, so when you use Trinity, it will follow you up to the Fortune Teller, even though you're not next to the Fortune Teller when you initially reflect.
So in Treasure Room, it's a bunch more like fire globes and icy cubes, along with this first wave of silver rocks. So we're pretty much just going to be using it to farm a bunch of EXP for wisdom. Then we can just bait out the reflex still. And for this last wave right here, with the 3 Fat Bandits, we just want to reflect their first attack and then use a Trinity. And if we use the full Trinity, we rack up enough hits to kill them all. You can do 2 parts of the Trinity, but it's kind of risky. And when there's like 2 or 3 of them left with like only a hit left, they can get kind of crazy because they can kind of be hard to hit sometimes.
Yeah, you can't attack them from the front, and you're in a really small room where you can't get around them, so it's a mess. Do you equip Aerial Finisher now? Or...
Yeah.
Okay. And so right there we equip Aerial Finish and Quick Run. We also equip Donald's Cure again, and we put on his Comet ability. This is the first actual like party limit we'll see. That isn't Group Trinity. But we'll use this because it lets us, well, it gives us iframes, and it lets us kill a lot of the small, the fire globes or whatever really quickly in a moment. So yeah, right there you see it just kills all the small guys, which instantly reforms it, fire and ice lord. So yeah, this fight revolves around just hitting the HP gates correctly so that you can kill them as fast as possible.
And we also put Donald off of party attack back onto technic attack, so that he has the chance of using a thunder at the end. Because if he uses a thunder on the ice guy, on the Ice Lord, if you use a thunder on the Ice Lord, you can kill him in one full Valor air combo.
He can
and
also
he can
he can help kill the little guys just to save you a little bit of time.
Nope, not like this. Not like this.
What are you doing?
Oh god. Almost did it again. We're good though.
You almost went into the tutorial.
Oh, I almost went into the Gummy editor again. That would not have been good.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is our last Gummy Ship mission until the like very end of the game. So get ready for some fast-paced action non-stop.
Yay!
Yay! This Gummy mission, you can actually walk away for the first minute or two and be completely safe. And as long as you aren't gone too long, you can go into the final part in critical HP, and as long as you're shooting the wheel, he'll never kill you.
approaching from behind us!
The way you get final form is actually anytime you have enough anti-points to get anti-form, you have a chance at final form. So you can randomly get final form if you have a chance at anti-form.
Yeah, we have a small chance of getting final form on the run, but we don't actually use it, so it doesn't matter if we get it or not.
It's slightly faster for a few of the fights, but we're talking seconds.
And the strats with it are a lot harder and different.
Yeah, most people don't even know or practice them just because.
Yeah, I've never practiced them before.
The way we avoid anti-form is by, there's an anti-point system where it makes anti-point 100% consistent or not get it. So by knowing this value, we can route our drives around never hitting anti-form. We actually get anti-form once on purpose to reduce our anti-points to a level where we can do the rest of the strats without ever having to worry about it.
So in the beginning of this world, there's a forced fight, but you can actually die to advance, and that's a lot faster because fighting it out takes like 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, and you can die in a solid like 5-10 seconds. And I'm just switching Donald for Goofy right here, so that I'll be able to use Valor later in this world. And I also just summon Genie because I want these guys to kill me, and if I have Jack or Goofy out, they'll attack the enemies and they won't be able to hit me. And this is faster than setting them all to Sora attack because we actually want them to do stuff later.
And this fight is actually probably one of the longest like fights when you enter a world. Like it is extremely long.
Yeah. But we can just die and make it real quick, just like that.
Genie would actually normally throw a potion, but the HP gate at which the fight ends is before Genie would normally throw you a potion, so you never have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Kind of blanked out, but we basically took Jack's items because we need his ethers, and then I equipped Finishing Leap, which is an ability we've been talking about a little bit, which is it's a combo finisher. It changes up your combo a little bit. We're not using it in this world, but we'll be using it a fair amount through the rest of the game.
So this fight right here, KHFan will actually stand still for a second. This manipulates the AI of the box to actually sit down rather than jumping away. And then we'll do a series of reflects to just reflect all his shots to make sure he can't kill us. After we kill him, we'll just dance call to summon in the other two toy boxes. Oh, wow, that blizzard.
Yeah, Jack kind of took him away from me with that blizzard.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jack's icy terror, or whatever it's called, will knock things away from you. Wow, you're really ahead of experience.
Yeah, I'm really good.
But yeah, so right there, the toy box got like knocked away from him, so he didn't get the full damage on dance call. So it was a little sloppy at the end, but.
So I'm gonna make a little stop right here to buy ethers because we would start running low on ethers before we get another chance to buy them if we don't buy them right here.
Alright, how many ethers?
7.
Oh, baby.
So yeah, it's good.
So generally you'll get 6, 5 to 6. Getting 7 there is really good. I think the most I've ever gotten is 8 though.
Yeah, with buying the tourmaline rings, we have a little bit less money. Back when we used to buy Sardonyx rings, we'd be able to get 9 or 10. But we don't need that many ethers in this one, so it's fine. This is a really interesting strat, if you'd like to explain it, Narago.
Yeah, so Prison Keeper works on a series of HP gates, but if we can keep him staggered and do enough damage, we can actually skip an entire HP phase. Normally he would eat all 3 kids at some point in the fight, individually, but if we do the strat correctly, we actually only go through 2 phases of the kids before the final phase. To start off, we'll reflect into a Trinity, and then we'll go Valor form. And we'll use this to try and hit the HP gates. I'm not sure if you hit that first one.
I didn't hit the first one, but I was able to hit the second one, so it's fine.
Right, yeah. So right here, he's going to try and skip the second phase. And go straight into the third phase. Or I guess the fourth phase. But when he turns green here, he actually eats all the kids. And we want to get him down to around 1.5 HP bars, so that we can use Dance Call to finish him off.
We got this right there.
But yeah, this fight, if you don't hit the HP gates correctly, can lose you like 15 seconds. So it's pretty important to hit those. Unfortunately, due to Valor being the whiff master it is, you don't always get there.
Yeah, it's only really a problem if you don't skip the last HP gate, because he sucks up another kid before he sucks up all 3 of them.
And those animations just lose you a lot of time.
Yeah.
So the next fight is Oogie. Unfortunately, we can't speed up Oogie, aside from a few small time savers. We have to go through all 3 phases, and there's nothing we can really do. But ultimately, each phase comes down to hitting 12 boxes up into Oogie, and then hitting him as he falls onto the platform.
That's right, away you go.
This first phase is there's a lot of RNG, or there's not a lot of RNG, but you can lose like 5 to 10 seconds sometimes in this first phase if you get really unlucky. But the second and third phases are actually completely consistent.
So on that first combo there on Oogie, I actually let the 3rd hit of Aerial Spiral come out just to ensure that I hit his HP barrier with the aerial finish. Because sometimes you just barely don't get enough damage off. You have to do more damage to him.
That's right, away you go.
So during the second phase, the new attack he gets is the summoning boogie presence.
I don't know what happened
Gifts. And they can spawn 2 enemies. The Emerald Blues or the White Knights. Unfortunately, KHFan got Emerald Blues. And he decided to just switch to another platform to get rid of them. This is actually probably the safest way to deal with them in crit if you're having problems with it. Like as soon as an Emerald Blue spawns, just switch platforms and you won't have to deal with them. The crit mode speedrun actually summons Chicken Little here to keep him staggered, but beginner we don't have that luxury. Sometimes you can reflect them and get away with it, sometimes Goofy and Jack will take care of them for you, but they're easily the most annoying part about this fight.
Basically the second phase right here, where you can damage, I'm just going to use Dante's Call because there's some White Knights out and I don't want them to knock me out of a combo, so it's just easier to Dance Call.
Yeah, those Oogie gifts can also spawn more Emerald Blues, so it's just safer to use the Dance Call.
I actually managed to get the 1-frame trick, which is pretty cool to show off.
Right, yeah, so right here, you can have 1 frame to actually go back to the middle platform, which will save you like 5 seconds. Because normally he would do an extra rotation of attacks before you can go back, but by hitting that 1 frame, you just jump right over. That's one of the, like, 1 of 2 time sabers we can have on this fight.
No, you just try dodging this. That's right, away you go.
Yeah, I got lucky that he didn't go to the far platform, because I can waste a bit of time, and it's RNG.
Yeah, so right here, Oogie can either go to the middle platform or to the far platform. It's just, you just have to react to it.
That was actually a very solid Oogie fight, aside from going to the wrong platform ones. Getting 1-frame trick saves actually a decent amount of time.
Yeah, it saves a lot actually.
So, should I try to leapfrog over to Twilight Town?
Yes, do it. Do it. I'm gonna see this 2-second time saver right here. So we could go slow and just kind of boost over normally, or we can leapfrog.
Kind of awkward, but yeah, we did it.
Close enough. So right here is the Twilight Town 2 or Berserker fight. We'll just summon Chicken Little, because as you've seen before, Chicken Little just keeps everyone staggered and keeps them all close to you with Magnet. And this is just the best way for us to deal with them in beginner. Critical mode actually uses Valor Form because you have an extra reaction boost, which makes using the Berserker Claymore reaction command faster. But we don't have that in beginner, so it's not as worth it. This is also the first instance of Finishing Leap you'll see. Finishing Leap is better because it's consistent. Sora actually has 2 normal ground finishers which can screw you up, but Finishing Leap will always knock everything around you into the air. Wow, how did he DM there? What the? So unfortunately that Berserker didn't get staggered, so he was able to DM KHFan.
Yeah, I'm still able to recover pretty well.
Yeah.
It just put me in a bad position to start off the last wave.
But yeah, as you see, Finishing Leap knocks everything to the air and generally keeps them staggered for you, which gives you like more time to do some of the strats later on. Also looks cool, so.
Yeah, here we're getting Oathkeeper, which we actually won't be using, but we're also getting Limit Form, which we use a lot. It's used for a good amount of strats later. It can be used to stun lock some bosses for like about 2 bars of their HP most of the time at the end, which is very, very useful.
Eagles, right?
So it's a...
Gorge.
Yes!
Oh no! You're right. Sora!
So here I'm gonna try to do some movement tech with Wisdom Form. And we did it. So basically, you can chain fires in Wisdom Form, and well, since fire brings you forward, you can use it for a bit of movement.
Just a fun fact, you can actually skip that cutscene, or you can actually skip talking to Cloud, and you'll just hit that loading zone, except nothing will happen because the loading zone will not exist until you talk to Cloud. It's just another example of like you're not able to sequence break.
No, you can. I'm pretty sure you can go into like HP3 over here, like Hollow Bastion over here, but then the game crashes if you try to do anything else.
I thought you just couldn't go through at all. Because I've seen Midget just run into the wall and not been able to do anything. But either way, you need to talk to Cloud before you go into that loading zone, otherwise bad things happen. But yeah, we go Wisdom Form here because Wisdom Form is still faster than, or level 2 Quick Run is still faster than level 1 Quick Run in Wisdom Form. So we use that. And skateboards are speedy as well. But we're still not done picking up AP boost, so we gotta pick up 2 more on the way to Space Paranoids here.
Did we actually go the long way around all this stuff to get this 1 AP boost chest?
Yeah, unfortunately a lot of the abilities we need in 2FM, we just require so much AP. If we start cutting out abilities such as Ida boost like we have, we can start skipping more AP boosts, but we just need more abilities into English because the strats require them. The question is, do you skip Stitch? Or are you going to skip it for this run?
I do skip Stitch, yes.
Yeah, you're going to do it? Okay. So just like 2 English, we actually skip Stitch now in 2FM Beginner. We used to pick him up though. We discovered Genie strats, so we don't need him anymore. He can still be used for safety if you feel like you're low on ethers or something, but most top runners will just skip him.
Yeah, I got 2 ether drops, so
yeah.
I should be fine on ethers.
Yeah. You also got like 7 ethers or whatever.
We got 7 from the when we bought ethers, so yeah, I should be fine on ethers.
Skipping Stitch only saves like what, 3-5 seconds, but
yeah,
that's a free 5 seconds right there. So this mini game, you just need to hit the box that glows red at the start with the finisher, and the drive explosion counts as one of those. So at least in this situation, not every situation.
Let's go!
So right here I'm about to get Master Form, which means my drive points are my anti points are gonna reset again. And Master Form is a very useful form. It forces you to do air combos, but the finisher actually does lots of damage when you have air combo boosts.
So there's Stitch, wave him by.
Bye, Stitch.
Bye, Stitch. So yeah, this is Light Cycle. The first part of it is a little RNG, where the guys will spawn. You can lose like a good couple of seconds here. But the second part that we go into is actually 100% consistent if you do it correctly. So
There's a couple things in the second part that can speed it up.
yeah, but it is consistent.
Yeah.
Gotta save those 2 seconds, dude. So yeah, these green guys here you'll normally parry off of, but if you parry off them and turn at the same time, you actually get a small little speed boost in that direction. Just like that.
There's 3 chances when you get it, but the last one's pretty hard to get, and all 3 of them there's a little bit of RNG involved.
Yeah. The first 2 are pretty consistent, and you should almost always be able to get them, but yeah, that third one is crazy.
Yeah. So I was hit out doing the second one, but...
Oh yeah, I hugged the wall on that one because he always shields if you get too close. And if it runs out too fast.
You're destroyed.
So yeah, crit here you'll normally die in 2 to 3 hits. If you get hit into the wall, it's always 2 hits, but... beginner, we have a little more leeway.
You got a little swag blade action at the end.
Swag.
So there I was customizing Magnet, which was really useful because it just kind of draws enemies in and keeps them right there for you. And also does damage, a little bit of damage too. But then I was taking off Aerial Finish and putting on a Flash Step. Flash Step is kind of like Slide Dash, but it does 2 hits, and it's like a little shorter range.
Yeah, the way abilities work in this game is you actually have a close range modifier, a mid range modifier, and a long range modifier for your ground combos. The close range one is called Slap Shot, the mid range is Flash Step, and the long range is Slide Dash. So depending on where Sora's actually standing in relation to your target, depends on which one you'll get. So right here we're actually going to grind for a little EXP so we can hit level 30 by Jafar. We use Chicken Little because he still has Magnet, and we don't really have enough MP or the means to use a lot of magnets in this world, or this grinding segment.
Basically, we're going to be getting 1500 from level 23, which should be enough EXP to get level 30 later for Jafar, and then for also Exalted. Good. That was solid, very solid grinding.
Yeah, so usually getting a 55 to 50 is a good grinding. You can stop a little early before you hit 1500, but it's usually safer to go all the get to 1500.
Yeah, I could have stopped at 800, but I wanted to play it safe.
Yeah.
This is just a little EP boost as we grab. But stepping to the left there actually spawns more of the... What enemy is that? I'm really bad with hard.
I don't know what they're called in this world. I call them they are still Emerald Blues to me because they do the same attack.
Yeah, they're still Emerald Blues, but it spawns more Emerald Blues, so there's a Devastator that can't spawn that's to the right. Doesn't really do anything on a beginner, but in crit, that Devastator can easily kill you, so we usually walk to the left there to spawn so it doesn't spawn.
Right. So this is Hostile Program. This is probably one of the coolest fights to see in the run. So what KHFan will do here is he'll run forward and start a comet, and then he'll do an air combo. He'll end the comet. What this will do is that'll hit the HP gate, and he angles hostile program in a way that he doesn't move too far away from him. And by hitting this HP gate, we can freeze him, and then use Master Form to do a lot of damage. And we use Swag Fire to get across the room really fast. So right here we'll actually do 2 Master Form. Did you over damage him?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But he wasn't able to get enough orbs to freeze hostile program as he moved toward him. So he had to kind of do a little backup, but that was still a pretty solid fight. Normally what would happen is hostile program would rotate straight into you as you freeze him, and you would just start a comment in the air. So we just got Photon Debugger, we never use that. Don't need it.
So this fight, we don't have drive because we used our master form up in hostile program, but we have a quick way of getting some drive back, so we can summon Chicken Little here with some specific combos.
Master form. What's your favorite drive form, KHFan?
Lemon form.
Dang. Yeah, so we're gonna try to get 3 drive as fast as possible here, so we can summon Chicken Little. And by summoning Chicken Little in this fight, we will actually, the game will auto dismiss him for us and give us 5 drive right before Dancers. That was a pretty good fight.
Not bad.
But yeah, so we'll be using Chicken Little again here for Dancers. And the reason we want 5 drive is because when we use Chicken Little, we'll only have 2 at the end of the fight. So we will need to get at least 2 more drive bars to be able to use Limit Form during the Demix fight. And there's several ways to do this.
Let's go. Back off. Hold it. It's over. Yeah, this is it. Take this.
Yeah, unfortunately the security system can just knock things into the air, which actually is detrimental because it screws up with our combos.
Yeah. The way we do the combos at the end there is very specific, so we can get back 4 drive, or very close to 4 drives, so you can get it in Demix. And we use a lot of magic because magic restores drive very fast. But the security system is like the little orb that's kind of like floating around and kind of like popping up.
But yeah, so right here at the very start, we'll get the water clone number down to below 30, and then we'll use Group Trinity again. The Group Trinity parts will actually kill the water clones and count toward our hits, as well as hit Demix while he's idle there, which adds to the counter as well. And then we'll actually use the finisher of Group Trinity to finish off all the water clones and do the finisher on Demix, which takes off like a good, what, bar and a half or 2. So yeah, just watch the damage as he melts. And then from here we'll do a full ground combo with Finishing Leap, and we'll go Limit Form. His revenge value is at a point right now where after this second Santetsuken combo, he'll instantly retaliate. Here we can reflect twice and use Comet. And then we can just loop him until he dies. That was a perfect fight. But yeah, it's important to know that we want Demix to be retaliating as we use parts of the comet, because otherwise he'll get popped into the air and fly around. But if he's doing a retaliation, he cannot get knocked into the air. Right there we equipped an ability called Round Break because it's just really useful against all these shadows.
Sora, did you miss me? Yoshi is on the scene. There you go.
So basically, we want to bait out the soldiers. Well, not soldiers. The armored knights up there. We might want to bait out the rising sun because that can do a lot of damage.
You got an instant one there. That's cheating.
It's cheating.
You're a cheater.
I'll help out.
With that Morning Star, I basically, if you magnet and then Trinity them, the Trinity will knock them in and out of the magnet, so you're constantly doing damage to it.
Here goes.
Yeah, knocking things in and out of magnets has several uses. For one, it does more damage for things. For another, it builds up drive really fast. So it has a lot of uses. Right here, we really want to get Rising Suns because they just obliterate the Morning Stars. Ideally, you can get 2. And it looks like KH should get 1.
Yeah, but the shadows not being nice. That was still pretty fast because of the fact that I got both Rising Suns.
Yeah.
And also saving Ether, because if you don't get a second Rising Sun, you Magnet Trinity some of the Morning Stars.
Yes. And in this last part of the Final Fantasy fights, we'll actually go limit form and use 3 limits. By finishing a limit, we actually level up limit form. But the thing is, you have to finish the limit. If you didn't notice, on Demix, we actually don't do the very last part of ours, because that part of ours will add revenge value, and it will knock him away. But if we only do up to the second to last hit of ours, we add 0 revenge value, and it will keep them staggered the entire time, which allows us to instantly transition into another combo. But we finish 3 limits here to get level 2 with limit form, which gives us the level or enough drive to do the strategies we need later on.
So I'm gonna do a safe strat. I'm putting on a Follow the Wind for draw, because you can take a lot of damage in this fight, and draw helps you pick up HP orbs so you don't get low on health.
The second Goofy ability.
What?
You didn't put on Bash.
Oh yeah, I put on Goofy Tornado accidentally.
Did you? I don't think you put on anything.
Oh well, yeah, I don't.
Okay.
What does this guy do?
There, back off.
So yeah, right here we want to use Sparkle Race. It's just the best way to deal with all the Heartless as fast as possible. Oh, and he's getting beat up right now. But like he mentioned, he could quick Follow the Wind for the draw. Most of the time we won't do this in a run, but for safety, because KHFan doesn't want to die here, we'll equip it. If you notice all the orbs laying around, the draw helps us pick those up.
Yeah, because everything drops health on this.
But yeah, he's just going to try and stay toward the middle of the room and use the security bots as much as possible.
And also, I'm kind of moving the camera around a little bit while I use the RC to make sure that it's kind of like spawning more enemies.
Yeah, so the way this game works is it can't actually spawn 1,000 Heartless, right? The PS2 just can't handle that. So what it does is actually try to spawn the enemies behind your camera, so it doesn't give that really weird look of things just appearing on your screen. So by spinning the camera, we actually force the game to kind of spawn enemies really fast. KHFan isn't getting very good luck on these security bots.
Yeah, I wanted to play that safe. So I healed. not really much I can do.
Oh god, these. So unfortunately, after you come out of the security bot reaction command, the armor knights can actually hit you directly out of it, or another security bot can hit you. It's really unfortunate and really annoying, but it does happen. Generally what a lot of runners will try to do is they'll try to like reflect a lot to get up to forward drive, and by getting to forward drive you can actually use limit form in this fight again for safety. You won't get any anti-points and there's no real punishment to using it, aside from time.
So yeah, that was a pretty bad segment, but I just wanted to play it safe because it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. This fight can so easily kill you on beginner, even though we take a lot less damage than crit, but we also don't have once more, so security bots can actually juggle us to death. You saw that a little bit in the middle of the fight where you just got shot like 4 times and got really high in the air. Yeah, that can happen, and you can die.
I guess sometimes.
Sure.
A photo?
Riku?
You're funny.
Just this feel. Hey.
But Sora?
So yeah, that marks the end of like us mid-game. And now we're going into like second visit / late game. Fortunately there's no Gummy missions between worlds anymore, so second visits go by a lot faster. And right here we're going to Beast Castle first to get Rumbling Rose. We enter the parlor right here to activate that save point so we can save warp to it later. The reason we want Rumbling Rose is because it gives a second finisher, which lets us do things like Magnet Finishing Leap and Guard Break Finishing Leap, and it's just, second finisher is just like the best thing you can ask for in the game. So like we mentioned earlier, hitting things in and out of a magnet will actually do a lot of hits on things, so it will do damage as it hits things in and out of the magnet. And if you're doing it during Group Trinity, it actually racks up a lot of hits. So we can do Major Drive into the magnet there and then end it. And it will kill everything in the room.
Yeah, there's Rumbling Rose that gives us an finishing plus. And then, so finishing plus is very useful because having an extra finisher, we can do things like Magnet and then use a finisher. So we'd use Magnet Finishing Leap. Because Magnet would bring all the enemies in, and then Finishing Leap would hit all of them. And that can rack up a lot of damage.
But yeah, actually right here we'll dip out of Beast Castle and come back later. The main reason for this is because being level 30 for Zaldin and having Decisive Pumpkin makes Zaldin a lot faster and easier, so it's not worth our time to fight him right now.
Alright, I'm 82 from level 28. I shouldn't have to grab a bulky vendor.
No, yeah, you're fine. I usually don't hit 28 until like
the last.
The
gambler.
latest you can hit is like the third or fourth gambler. No, the second or third. Sorry. If my information is correct, you actually do... Beginner does about 2 times more damage than Standard and Proud, and Critical does about 1.5 times more than Standard and Proud damage.
Yeah, the way the multipliers work, the multiplier in Beginner is 1.5, and then Crit is 1.25, but then Proud and Standard are 0.75, which really is not a lot of damage at all. You do barely any damage in Proud and Standard, which is why they're not really viable categories for a run.
So right here we're fighting Grim Reaper 1. This fight doesn't really work on a traditional revenge value system, it works more on a flinch count system. So depending on how you hit him, will force him to teleport. By using Blizzard here, we can actually prevent him from teleporting around a lot. Unfortunately, he kind of went up on the cannon. I think KHFan whiffed the Blizzard or 2 there. So right here where he's going to do a Master Form Combo with 1 finisher, and then use a Blizzard. And then he's going to use a finish off another Master Form Combo to kill him. Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, because of the fact that a couple of those Blizzards whiffed, I didn't have enough damage to kill him in Master Form, but we get drive back fast enough that it's not a huge deal.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't like 2 English where you would be screwed for the rest of the world if there wasn't a high drive recovery.
Yeah.
Right here we grab Peter Pan. Peter Pan will be used primarily for 1 fight. Do you do limit form on Psyx?
I don't.
Okay, so KHFan will be using Peter Pan twice in the run. Did you cup horizontal?
No.
You do that later?
I need to do that.
Okay, yeah. We'll also be equipping an ability called Horizontal Slash soon. Horizontal Slash actually modifies your air combos. By hitting square, you can do a Horizontal Slash, and you get 2 Horizontal slashes in your combo. And Horizontal Slash does more damage and keeps things staggered. It also has the finisher property for some fights, so you can actually kill things with it in the air.
Oh, wrong way.
And this is the last time we'll need to use AP boost in the run.
So basically that's an example of magnet finishing leap. When you're doing when you do an aerial spiral after magnet finishing leap, it knocks him in and out of the magnet, so you're doing a bit extra damage there. Which is another reason it's very useful. Okay, there's this one room right here where you have to kill like all the pirates and stuff, and then the gambler will come out, but we can just go right past that room and go to this last one right here. This guy is a lot faster to kill.
Yeah, Magnet's an interesting magic because it's actually the only magic that instantly goes to a finisher but has no finisher property. Like, it's a really odd thing, but since it goes directly to a finisher, that means you can follow it up with another finisher, which is why we're able to use a finishing leap early rather than having to do 2 things and then a finisher. Without Rumbling Rose or a second finishing plus like we get in Crit, you can't do magnet finishing leaps or magnet explosions. That's stutter step.
There's a weird BGM glitch going on right here. It's kind of quiet though, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it.
Is this our first BGM glitch?
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear it. Oh, that's creepy. So yeah, Grim Reaper 2 is similar to Grim Reaper 1, except for when he has the medallions, he doesn't take any damage. So we had to use magic to get all the medallions out and put them back into the chest, and then he acts very similarly to Grim Reaper 1.
I could actually work that better. That's not though. Oh, my bad. Got the guard.
So by hitting this first HP gate here, we'll trigger this little event. Oh wow. Oh my. So now we need to get all the medallions out of him again.
Okay. This is it. It's over. Back off. This is it.
I think that's not damage. Yeah, that's not damage. Do you want to explain Master Form here? Or did you already do that? I wasn't paying attention.
So right here, during the DM, we're going to just avoid this. But at the very end, we're going to do Master Form. Normally, when we use a Thunder, it removes 50 medallions from Grim Reaper. But in Master Form, we actually do multiple hits of Thunder, so we're removing like 150 medallions worth of thing. This is just the easiest and fastest way to get all the medallions out of Grim Reaper quickly and without using too much MP. If we didn't have Master Form there, it would be a very, very slow fight. We would probably have to loop them with like Thunders and Reflects.
Yeah, that was a pretty good fight. Kind of.
The beginning was kind of wonky,
yeah. But the end was good.
While we're doing the actual Master Form Thunders on him, he'll constantly get staggered and not move. But what we're hoping for actually is the Keyblades whacking him while he's in immune will actually drop MP orbs, and we're hoping to get some MP orbs there so that we can keep doing Thunders without running out of MP. Which is why you'll see a slight pause after some of the Thunders.
Yeah, there basically I was putting on draw, which helps draw like bring item like not items MP orbs and stuff in from a longer distance.
Or most
useful.
notably during present collection, it collects the presents from
yeah,
away.
I did present collection without draw earlier. It was really scary. I barely got all of them collected.
But yeah, that's just another reason we pick Sword at the start, because you get draw at 28 just in time to do this. And so these kids will use Reflect and then we'll go into a dance call and just kind of beat them up.
Yeah, that was perfect. I didn't miss any of the boxes.
Yeah, these
sometimes
boxes.
you can send the RC and then you can just whip the kid.
Too bad we can't just hit the kids into the box, right? Like. But yeah, that fight actually works just the same on crit. You can do it exactly the same way. Because I know those kids will one-shot you in crit.
There's actually 2 skateboards here that we pick up instead of quick running because it's a little bit faster. And also, when you pick up that skateboard, you can move out of the way of those ghosts, trick ghosts, because they fire their orbs at you. And if you're quick running forward, they probably will hit you.
So yeah, right here we'll do another reflect into a dance call. And we just want to kill all the white knights at the same time so that they all drop the presents at the same time so we can collect them. What we're trying to avoid is the enemy that spawns right after them. They're either tombstones or big birds, I always confuse them. But these big guys here have a lot of HP and have a actually a very high chance of killing you. And since we don't have like Stitch or anything to give us MP back, we would have to use Ethers to use another dance call.
So this is literally RNG the minigame.
Actually, you'd probably have to use 3 Ethers, huh? Because you don't have item boost.
Yeah, because you don't have item boost. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm at the game's disposal for time right now.
So yeah, right here the game can spawn red, yellow, green, or gold boxes. It's completely RNG, and there's nothing we can do except for react as best as possible. The kids will come back and try to hit the boxes away, but we can kind of neutralize them.
Oh, well. This is not very good. That would have been fine if I had gotten that one box. Yeah.
Oh wow, or Shock just came in and nailed it.
At least, you know what's really bad when the last kid comes in, but the last kid wasn't there, so it was still kind of decent.
Oh wow, you just got all the boxes at the end.
Yeah, they all
They're
came when
just
it was way too
teasing
late.
you. So this is Experiment. We'll use Dance Call at the very start to get him to a specific HP gate. And Experiment's actually an interesting fight in the sense that not everything doesn't count as a finish on him. You actually have to hit him with a combo finisher and not something like horizontal slash to break him apart. So right here we'll do a full combo to break him apart. And then we'll throw him toward the head to make him reform, and we'll summon Peter Pan. Peter Pan will actually keep him completely stun locked the entire time if we do it, if you do your inputs correctly. And we can do this all the way until his last phase.
So when you use the dance call at the very end there, you actually don't want the first part of it to hit Experiment, because if he gets hit by that, he'll start going crazy when you actually start using the limits, like the RCs of dance call, and he'll go like invincible and start like flying around and stuff.
Yeah, but right there we just got a Decisive Pumpkin, and Decisive Pumpkin is probably the best Keyblade for ground combos and general combat. Beginner will use Rumbling Rose primarily, unfortunately, because the second finisher is better than having the damage that Decisive Pumpkin gives us.
Yeah, we only equip Decisive Pumpkin actually on Sora as the main Keyblade for one fight so far. But other than that, we do have it on Master Form for Zaldin. There's only times you'll actually see that in Decisive Pumpkin in the speedrun.
You still do Master Form Zaldin?
No, it'd be Valor.
Yeah,
My
okay.
bad. It'd be Valor Form on Zaldin.
So yeah, these are carpet fights. Carpet fights are pretty terrible in 2FM if they go wrong. Finishing Leap doesn't like to move when you use it. So if your magnet is like too low or too high, your finishing leap will just completely whiff. But fortunately, there's a few strats that like to work. These fortune tellers also like to fly around and just like not be cooperative. And, like you saw right there, the magnet was too low and the finishing leap whiffed.
Yeah.
The fight turned out not to be too bad, but yeah. So yeah, right here we're just chasing Jafar around and hitting him. On the third time we'll have to hit him with a finisher or a magic.
Yeah, so I just use the thunder on him. Yeah, the second carpet fight is pretty much the same thing. It's kind of hard to get everything close to you when you magnet.
Gather.
That was kind of weird, but okay.
Yeah. Gather. This is it.
I don't know what's going on.
This is it. This is it.
Dude, what is happening? Oh my!
That was so weird.
What did you get? Are you just at the top of the arena?
I think I'm at the very top of the arena, so I was kind of stuck.
Interesting.
Oh god, dude.
That was, I've never seen that fight done that way, but KHFan is
I've never
thinking
done it
of
that way
new
before.
strats on the fly. Yeah, right here by stopping next to that sandfall, I guess it's called, we can despawn the enemy so that we can freely thunder that switch. Yeah, we just gotta thunder, blizzard, and fire 3 different switches to progress this next part. So the next part here is the carpet escape segment. We cannot speed this up at all. You're on a rail, and you just gotta kill as many enemies as possible. We need to make sure to kill enough enemies to hit level 30 so that we get the strength up in time for Jafar and Zaldin. There are strategies that you can still DM skip Jafar when you aren't level 30, but it is significantly slower.
It's also a lot harder.
So as long as you generally hit 29 in this first area here before you leave, you will usually hit level 30 on beginner. Crate would actually grab bulky vendors, so they're usually actually ahead of experience here.
There's actually a little bit of RNG if you can hit enemies into the Fat Bandits, and the Fat Bandits give like 600 EXP each or something. Which, if you're kind of low on EXP, those can be very vital to getting level 30. Well, I was fine on EXP, so I got level 30 pretty easily. And sometimes it can be a little hard to hit these guys, as you see there. I kind of whiffed one fortune teller for like 3 seconds straight.
Adrian, please.
He baited me. He baited me.
You zigged and you zagged. So yeah, we don't actually need this second finisher for the Jafar fight, so we'll be equipping Decisive Pumpkin for this, just for the extra little damage. The Jafar fight's actually pretty technical and beginner. If we do the fastest strat, we actually barely have enough damage at the very first part, which can, if you screw up the damage, can really affect the second part. it's really important that we let the slide dashes do every hit possible, because you can actually cancel the slide dash early and you will lose damage. But yeah, we will be DM skipping Jafar, and the DM on Jafar is actually really annoying. Not only because it's really long, but especially on critical mode, right after as you come out of the DM, you will usually die. It's very rare that you will live.
The world is mine to control.
Back off. Yeah, back off. Back off. Back off.
You'll never escape.
Back off. This is it. This is it. This is it.
What are you doing?
Yeah, so we're actually able to 3-cycle Jafar, or I call it 3-cycling. Some people call it 1.5 cycling. On beginner, whereas crit and even on 2 English, you would have to 4-cycle them. But that strat revolves around breaking his HP gates at certain times. If we break that last HP gate too early, he'll actually DM. So we make sure not to break that and to use the RC so that can never happen.
What's that? Whenever Sora.
Now we're gonna go back to
Hey, Sora. And what?
Peace Castle so we can finish up Zaldin.
Yeah, we'll be re-equipping Rumbling Rose to Sora, and we'll be keeping that equipped for the rest of the game. And then we'll be equipping Decisive Pumpkin to Valor. The reason we use these 2 Keyblades is simply because they give us the most strength at this time.
Okay, that fight wasn't too bad. Basically, you want them to do their attack where they come towards you, and then you have to reflect and then magnet finishing like that. Then usually you can have enough damage off to kill them just with that. But I didn't see that the one didn't die, so I used an extra magnet on the first wave when I shouldn't have.
So I'll actually go Valor before entering the fight here. One reason to do this is because our anti-points are really high at this point. I don't know exactly which anti-point route KHFan uses, but in my route, if I were to use the drive in the fight, I would probably anti-form. And also, we just don't need to do it during the fight. Right here, we can just run to the side or stand still and get enough jumps. We'll first do 3 jumps, and then we'll do 4 jumps. This will put him at an HP where 9 jumps, and then a short combo will kill him.
Yeah, that fight's not that bad. Pretty easy actually, but it's easy to mess up too. Problem.
Yeah, he can give you a few different RNG patterns there. Like he can wind guard then lunge, or he can give you the sweep attack. Generally, no matter what he does, the strat will still work. You'll just lose a couple seconds. Yeah, a lot of people have trouble with Zaldin casually, but you're able to just actually kill him before he really does anything. So this is our last world before you go into like end game. And this fight that we're coming up to is it's Riku. Spoiler alert. And we need to beat him up. Unfortunately, Riku kind of acts like BBS bosses where he doesn't stagger at all, he just keeps attacking. So it's really hard to deal with him. We are also on uneven terrain here, so slide dashing and flash stepping don't like to work sometimes, so we'll just swing and whiff. But right here we'll do a full combo Reflect into a Trinity. Like we mentioned earlier, the Reflect damage actually follows you when you use Trinity. So no matter where Riku goes at the start, we can keep up to him. We also use Limit Form here because limits have the ability to chase Riku around.
Yeah, the goal is to kind of get off Zantetsuken on him because it does like a little over a half bar damage, which is a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But sometimes we can't get that off, and we kind of just have to revert to just using like Sonic Rave. Jeez.
So right here we'll actually be seeing these that grab the use of Master Genie. Similar to everything else we've been doing with Magnet, when you hit things in and out of it, it does more damage, and Master Genie is really good at doing that as well.
Give me strength.
So we'll actually jump here and do an untargeted magnet because we want Genie to be the one sucking everything into the magnet.
Gather. Back off.
So we literally just summoned Genie for that one fight and then dismissed him, but we can get enough drive back to be first strat on Storm Rider where we use Valor Form.
Wait!
So yeah, snipers are pretty easy to deal with if you can keep them in a magnet, but unfortunately if they fall out of a magnet, they like to run around and get stuck in walls.
That was a good fight.
That first wave
Basically,
was
at the
perfect.
beginning, you wanna ground break so that you can force them to one of them to retaliate when you can reflect before you magnet finish and leap, which gets off a lot of damage.
Yeah, ideally what happens is you kill that first wave before your first magnet disappears, so the second wave spawns and instantly gets hit into it. As they come out of the magnet, they'll instantly retaliate, which means you can reflect, magnet, finishing, leap them again before they go anywhere. Here's another fight where we'll be using Valor Form and we drive outside so we don't get anti. So here we'll be doing a series of like normal attacks straight into double finishers and just beating them up. Uh-oh.
It's over. Take this.
Uh-oh. What the? Oh, you didn't wait for the tail to grow.
I didn't realize that was what he was doing.
Yeah, so unfortunately KHFan got bopped around a lot, so he wasn't able to get all the damage he needed, so he can't actually kill Storm Rider right here. But he'll be able to kill him right afterwards in the next attack.
Okay. I had actually either, so I just used some of them like doing the duck player. Beat up a little bit. But messing that up like that is actually just about the same speed as the old strat where we used to use Valor Genie.
Yeah.
So it's not too slow when that happens. Now we're coming up on the last Gummy mission of the game. And then it's basically just a boss rush after that. We do two like kind of force fights, and then it's just a boss rush.
And there's something. Look, I don't know what's going.
Yeah, and this is the last Gummy ship. You might have said that, but so this is your last chance to go to the bathroom in a run, really.
So the game can actually lag a little bit at the start of this Gummy mission. So what I usually do is I just don't move at all. I just let it happen.
Yeah, there's one time we anti in the run, but it's not in a fight. It's actually right before the Zigbar fight. By going anti right before the Zigbar fight, we reduce our anti points to a level where we can use Master Form comfortably without anti forming.
I wish we could use the donut ship in runs, because the donut ship's actually kind of cool, but it just takes way too much time to customize the Gummy ship at all.
Do we even have enough like Gummy pieces to do it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, luckily, since when you get into low health, everything just drops. Health bars when it dies. If you get into low health here, it's pretty easy to get health, and then it's not really that hard. It's not really that easy to die. Wow, the clicking noise was probably in my controller because I was smashing.
Oh, that might be me.
Oh, maybe? Okay.
My noise gate isn't set properly, so I kinda just went live.
Oh, okay. It's fine. I haven't really heard anything.
Oh, because Discord has the noise gate, but OBS Studio doesn't, which is what they're listening through, so... Oh, so
Very nice. Now we start the final stretch.
So yeah, for this Mickey fight coming up, we'll use Master Form or Master Genie again, and he works just like all the other Master Genies. We'll do untargeted magnets for the first 3 waves. And then Samurais are actually unique, similar to Berserkers, where they don't actually get sucked in by Genie, so we actually have to do the magnet right on top of them. And then use Genie.
This is another reason why we wanted level 2 summons, because it gives you an extra drive gauge, so this fight's a little more lenient now. I don't see how he dodged everything.
We can farm limit, it's just not reasonable for us to really go for dodge roll, and quick run is faster than dodge roll in 2F1.
See, I got knocked out of that magnet in there, so...
So, oh wow. Yeah, so the problem with Magnet is the animation is so long that you can actually get knocked out of it mid-animation. So unfortunately, we lost Genie there.
A little bit of a slow fight, but we'll do that. I still don't know how the first, that one dodged all the attacks, but it's fine. Now we have to choose sea salt ice cream. I think one of the options is liver pickle ice cream or something, which is something gross. But yeah. Now we're gonna get to meet up with Axel again and do a force fight with a bunch of nobodies. But Axel can either help the fight a lot, or he can kind of ruin it, depending on which attacks he does, because he can separate all of the enemies. Or he can like damage them in your magnet and keep everything going good. But this fight, we basically want to do a magnet finishing leap. I don't know what happened to this guy. Yeah, we want to bait their reflect and then magnet finishing leap. You know, a bunch of damage. So what happened to that last guy? Kind of just got away from me. And this fight's just gonna be a bunch of magnet finishing leap, because there's a lot of enemies. Now I can actually go into limit from right here to restore my drive. I mean, to restore my MP.
Restore your drive and every broken. See, Axel only really has one attack that's useful, and he isn't really useful. A really good fight would avoid throwing the ether here at the end, but
oh, there's still another enemy.
See, unfortunately,
that was a situation where I should have used ether, but I made a bad judgment.
Yeah, so the Axel fight works weird. As you saw there, even though it looked like there was only one enemy left, he was the trigger to spawn an additional enemy. that unfortunately KHFan didn't kill in sync with the rest of the enemies, so it spawned one more. Most other fights will work in a wave system where you kill everything in a wave, then it'll spawn the next wave, but you can actually go the entire fight and like kill an enemy and then have 2 more enemies tied to that one in this fight. It's really silly.
So this is Roxas. You actually get to fight him in this game compared to KH2 English. And we have a very complex strat for this. Nora, you can go ahead and explain that.
So the Roxas fight, this is one of the first fights where we actually see the boss just relentlessly attack you. So if we ever let him out of the loop, it's really hard to get him back in the loop, and he can kill you very easily on beginner still. Fortunately, we have this loop where we can do this finishing leap combo, and then we can flash step thunder reflect guard break him. The reason we use the thunder is to hit him into the air to force the air retaliation, and then we can reflect him as he comes down, and we can use the guard break to keep him staggered. After we throw the ether, we'll actually use blizzard thunder reflect. And that's because his revenge value is slowly dropping. The blizzard keeps his revenge value high while letting us do the simple combo still. After that, we can use a reflect into a trinity to keep him staggered and lower his HP down enough to use limit form here to loop him until the end. Like we mentioned earlier, if you don't do the very last hit of ours, you don't add any revenge value and it'll keep him staggered, which lets him go into another Zantetsuken combo.
So I was a little scary there. One of the fourth combo that I didn't mash very hard, so it came out extremely slow, but I still staggered him. And if I hadn't staggered him, he would have DM'd, and if I could have gone downhill pretty fast from that. So here I'm equipping 2 become 1, and it's because in the elevator over here, I want to get Anti-Form, either Anti-Form or Final Form to wipe out my anti-points, because I want to be using Master Form and Zigbar, and if I didn't do this, I'd have a chance of getting Anti-Form. There's Anti-Form. When here, I'm gonna sell any extra stuff I have, which is probably only potions, and then buy ethers, along with trading in a synth item to get an elixir. I was only able to buy 4 ethers, but it should be fine.
So yeah, KHFan has 11 ethers going into endgame, which is like more than enough.
Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff in that menu right there, but I was putting Rumbling Rose on because I need that for the rest of the game.
So yeah, we take off round break and draw in that menu because we don't need them anymore. We also put on combo master because that's it lets us continue combos even if we whiff a hit. It's just a really useful ability in general. We also put on aerial finish because it lets us loop Zigbar, and we put on slap shot for some fights. We also take off guard because we don't need it anymore and we don't have enough AP. So Zigbar is a very technical fight. He's probably one of the more complicated ones to learn if you don't know what's happening. But at the very start here, we'll wait till he reloads. When he reloads, it gives us a chance to stagger him with Duck Flare, and we can do this combo on him. We actually throw the elixir here because we don't equip item boost anymore, and it would take 3 ethers as opposed to 1 elixir. But by using the elixir, we get enough MP to use a second Duck Flare, and we do a combo right up into his HP gate. If we over damage him, he can actually DM. So we have to be really careful here. We'll use Reflex here to not add revenge value, but to do damage to him to get him close enough so we can kill him. By reverting before we finish the Master Form finishers, we don't add revenge value again, and you can stagger him.
That shouldn't have worked. I was gonna say that should not have
Yeah,
worked.
I don't know how that worked. Oh my god, that finish. Holy moly.
He shouldn't have waited around that long. He should have instantly DM'd right there.
Yeah, so what happened there is KHFan accidentally like staggered him with the first hurt of the Master Form, which puts his revenge value at a certain point. And generally what will happen is Xigbar will break out and use his desperation move. Interestingly enough, that did not happen. I'm not sure if that's just RNG or if KHFan whiffed a hit somewhere which didn't increase his revenge value or something, but that
I don't
worked.
know. I'd chalk it up to just RNG.
Yeah. But even then, when he was sitting there, you whiffed part of the hit, he broke out again, which led him... And
Yeah,
due to
I
Combo
don't know.
Master, you were able to do the aerial finish as he spawned into it. But
Yep.
it worked out, so... Sometimes you just don't question the game.
Yeah. This fight you started as a dice, and then if you hit Luxord, it actually makes your drive gauge go down faster.
The first to run out of time is the loser.
Nope, not that.
A challenge.
Wow. How did... Okay. That was weird. So Luxord has different retaliations for if he's in the air or on the ground. So what we do is we want to use a magic, or we want to trigger his ground retaliation and not his air retaliation. So we'll do combos in a way that do that. Active KHFan is having a harder time kind of starting the loop here.
Yeah, he keeps doing the wrong move.
Yeah, cards is the worst of the moves. For several reasons. It's like sometimes you can get hit out of it, which means that you can't loop him. You don't have enough time to stagger him again. And also it just does less damage. You don't get to hit him.
Oh, this is a bad fight.
Look closely.
It should be enough damage. Yeah, it is.
So right here he's going to try and DM skip him. By using Trinity there into a living form, we can actually keep Luxord staggered long enough that we can just beat him up until he's dead. By using an R's and not doing the last hit again, and then a slap shot right afterward, we can just chain 3 R's together, which is enough damage. So we don't even have to sit through the DM or anything.
So on Syx, you can actually loop him with Peter Pan if you just do 2 hits in the air. But we're gonna start off with trying to do like a little like reflect stuff, get some quick damage off before we actually have to start that loop.
Feel it, the moon's power.
So yeah, the way Reflect works in this game, if you do 2 consecutive Reflects, only one of them will do the actual Reflect finisher damage. But if we interrupt the 2 Reflects with something like a slap shot, we can actually make both Reflects do damage. So unfortunately, KHFan's not in a very good corner for this.
I'm gonna go ahead and start this because I don't want him to DM.
Yeah, so he wasn't able to get into a good corner, so he wasn't able to do the slap shot strat. Similar to Experiment, we can actually loop Sayax with Peter Pan here. So even though his Berserk charge is full and he should be Berserking, Sayax's Retaliation, actually, the animation is actually so long that Peter Pan will keep him staggered before he can ever break out. So right now, Sayax's Revenge value is like shooting through the roof, but he's unable to break out here.
If I had a heart.
So now we're gonna get Riku to join our party. And he's really only there, like, well, first of all, we get 2 ethers from him.
And
But
he's
we
a
can also
Hellbot.
use his Dark Aura abilities to get. We can chain a 3rd finisher into our combos. We tend to call it finisher canceling.
So yeah, we're making our way up to Xemnas 1. We'll be using Slapshot Reflex again on this fight to kind of loop him. And if KHFan does this fight correctly, it goes by very fast.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty quick fight.
So right here at the start, KHFan's gonna be hit by the building event thing. We can't avoid this. This will always happen, so we just sit through it. He'll use the 3rd reaction command that most people don't know about. Most people just mash triangle and do the first one, but there's actually 3 different reaction commands you can do here. If you do the 3rd one on the final mix version, it actually does quite a significant amount of damage. And then right here, KHFan will do one of 2 things to get Xemnas away from the stairs, because the ramp is just bad. So we hit him away from the ramp here to get him on some nice flat even surface.
His revenge value is a little weird right now. I'm not sure what happened there.
So right there, Xemnas is at the right HP where you can go limit form, and just like Roxas and other fights, we can just loop him until he's dead.
Wasn't a fallacy.
Kind of a wonky fight, but still not bad.
I think you did the guard break a little too early. That's why. On the first combo or something.
Maybe. So yeah, this is Final Battles. That's
So
just
yeah,
another boss rush.
after that door, we can't go into our menu anymore. Fortunately, we don't have to menu anymore.
Let's go.
Yeah, so this is the final rush.
So we're gonna do a kind of interesting strat on core. It's it could be a little wonky at times, but hopefully I can show it off real good. But these reactors, all you have to do is knock the Heartless into them, and then Magnet just keeps knocking all the enemies in. Then once I run out of MP, I'm actually going to go into Master Form, because that'll give me my MP back, and because Master Form's Magnet lasts for a lot longer than a regular Magnet for some reason. And then I'll be able to do something right here to kind of get a little bit of my drive back. So if I do this, it'll spawn all the enemies if you magnet that. And then if you magnet Trinity, you can do a lot of damage on these guys. I'm gonna summon a Genie right there. Then, if you Magnet Finishing Leap on the core right here and then do a combo, you can actually end that part really fast for some reason. But yeah, we're just gonna use Master Genie right here. And hopefully everything will get hit in the right way. Most things seem to got hit. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. And then you can see me doing a third finisher here. That's what we call finisher canceling. We just use Riku's RC and then just mash out another finisher. But yeah, you can actually, if you time your reflex right, you can hit reflex off on the core right there when when the buildings fly at you, getting a bit of extra damage.
So this Armor Xemnas fight is actually very scripted. Depending on where his HP is and how you stagger him, he'll always do the same thing. So like we always know when he'll do that water cleanse attack there. Unfortunately, KHFan misread the staggers on him and got hit by the sword attack. But normally you'll be able to tell when that's coming. Oh well, that shield clipped you up.
Yeah, I think I timed one of the reflex wrong, but that fight's still pretty fast anyway.
The way he is finisher canceling is if you hit Riku's triangle RC right as you do a finisher, you are able to do another finisher. We don't know why this works, but it does. And if the finisher actually has a long enough animation, you can do it infinitely until Riku runs out of MP. It is a weird glitch in the game or exploit, I'm not exactly sure which, but this works with several different things. You can do it with things like horizontal slash, and for whatever reason, switching Genie into different forms also triggers this as well. So you can actually infinitely horizontal slash or use reflect finishers if you can switch Genie fast enough. So yeah, this is Dragon. It's not a side scroller because it can actually go slower or faster, but We're locked into this for almost 3 minutes.
And you can see me saving my Mega Laser RCs for like certain times. It's faster to use them in certain spots opposed to others.
But yeah, funny enough, you can actually finish or cancel here with Riku's laser and the shield. It's not very useful, but you can. I'm not really sure how the programming worked out that way. I would be curious to see. This is being played on a JP PS2. Emulators are currently banned for speedrunning console KH2 games.
It was a decent fight. This fight's actually a lot faster than it is on KH2 English, because you do a lot more damage, and everything has a little bit less health, which is really nice. Another thing, on Armor's Emnus 2 right here, he only has 2 HP barriers instead of 3, so you only get knocked back twice, which makes the fight a bit faster. But the places these buildings spawn is actually the same every time, so we can quick get to this building right away.
Oh yeah, the buildings that don't move are consistent, but the buildings flying towards you are actually random. So that actually affects one little thing in this fight that can speed it up, but it's not very major. You also notice right here he'll do a quick aerial dodge, and then a glide. That actually cancels the snowflake lasers that Xemnas will normally spawn, just because you move forward fast enough.
So it looks like I was a little bit of health short there to hit the HP barrier, but I was able to just thunder it real quick. Usually you'd be able to hit the HP barrier after that combo, and it'll send you flying right back.
Yeah, one
now
thing
we have the last fight of the game. What did you say?
I was just gonna say, Armor's Emnus 2 Revenge like actually changes in the last phase.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the final battle. We're gonna start off by trying to get a bunch of reflects in on this first part.
Anger and hate are supreme.
Yeah, I can get a lot of damage off it there, so I'm gonna try something else. I don't know why he's not teleporting. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Back off.
So yeah, right there, after the fourth set of quick lasers, you can actually get a guard break on him as he goes around. It's random, but you can land it.
Right, so yeah, that's the fight. But basically, you want to get him into laser phase, so then you can just reflect all of his lasers. And then this laser dome is unskippable. Just kind of to do it. And then pretty much a minute and a half after you land the hit that sends us into this is when the fight ends and the Roxas done. So you just master this and then you have your little cutscene and yeah, there you go.
So yeah, KHFan was actually contacted pretty late to actually do this run to fit it into the marathon. His PB is a 41, but he hasn't been running it very recently, so pulling out a 46 is not bad at all.
Yeah, I did my best. Practice a little bit before the run, but yeah, I did my best with what I had to prepare.
So yeah, throw KHFan a follow. He runs BBS, KH2, sometimes 1.5, not really.
I went with the swag and I still got the 346.25.
But I'm pretty sure his current project's gonna be like DDD and stuff, so...
No, my current project is definitely gonna be useful with him.
Is it? Oh, that you're gonna go to DDD?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I'm gonna do a little bit DDD on the side, but I want to focus on 2FM, so...
Yeah, KHFan runs 2FM, and he's